What is up, everybody? Spidey here. As always, I hope you're having a marvelous day. Welcome to the Marvel Show. And as always, I'm with my friend, my pal, the one and only 9.9 Newsstand. How's it going, buddy?
I'm really well, my friend. How are you? Good evening.
I, I, I'm so excited about this episode. I'm so excited
This is
about
a
being
big
here
one.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like we're growing up just a little bit here.
I don't think I quite comprehend what's become of our show, to be completely honest with you,
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Well, look, for those who are just joining us, if you didn't read the thumbnail description, we have an artist, Jonboy Meyers. Am I saying that correctly? That sounds like
I think
it's
so. That's how I
because it's
say
got
it.
an
Yeah.
E in there, Meyers.
Right. Right.
So the double E there throws me off. But Jonboy Meyers, I believe, is how you say his name, and a big
Yeah.
time artist.
Big time artist, like a really great artist. Yes.
Like when did you know he did Spawn?
What?
Like straight
Wait, no,
up.
no, no. Did this? No, I did not know that. And I don't know if it came up in a conversation I recently had, but I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, he did, and we'll get more into that here in just a little
Yeah.
bit. But let's say hello
Yeah.
to our good friends. We
Hello,
got Dave,
everyone.
West
Dave,
Coast of
what
it.
up? Long
Good.
time no see, Dave.
Yeah, you guys were at it again last night. There's no need for me
We
to
were.
bring that up here. Was it a good show? Did y'all
It
have
was
fun?
so fun. We had so much fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
everybody,
was
when
a
you get a
good one.
chance, swing over to West Coast Avengers and check out the episode he had with Manu. Where y'all went through what? Was it
We
a
went through
Spawn book?
this, yeah, big Spawn like artist edition. So it had all of the original art for issues something through something. I think it ended
Hmm.
at issue 13. I don't know. Dave will correct, but it was the second volume of the book. So it was a continuation of the first book. Really awesome to see a lot of that art and the notes. And then we chit chatted. We even showed a couple of cards and stuff. We brought
Oh
cards,
wow! Look, it's
graded ones.
working.
Even it
It's
is
working.
even CGC 95 signed came into play.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I had a premonition about your show. I literally woke up at like 4:30 a.m. and I was like, I've got to message Dave and Manu because I had a dream that I was watching Dave on his channel open
Yeah.
up a box of Spawn cards. And
Wait,
the first
he
thing he
did?
hit was a sketch, which was a
Oh,
really awesome Spawn sketch. It was like profile with just it had actually the background of the sketch was still white, but the cowl was red and the eyes were green. And so
yeah.
it really worked in that negative space. And then the next hit was whatever the box case hit was. He called it a spectrum, but it was an actual Todd McFarlane sketch and signed. Could you
I
imagine?
I can't I no, yes, no. I love this dream so much.
I
Wait,
did.
did you know that he did open a box of Spawn cards on the stream?
No, this was Sunday morning. Y'all did the stream Sunday night.
Wow. Yeah, he did. And his
Yeah.
opening of the box of Spawn cards, you're tied into this whole thing. It was
Mm.
inspired by you gifting me the Chrome Spawn card. And so
Which
he
is
went and bought the
still
box.
waiting to be shipped.
I know. It's all, yeah. And we brought that up last night too. So
Okay, good.
that's fantastic. Yeah, it was a good time, my friend. It was a good time. Your
Oh
energy was in the
man,
building for sure.
that was a great dream. I was really happy to have it.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
I mean, I literally woke up at the big hit. Like it woke me up in excitement. And I don't know if my message to you guys made any sense because I was still half asleep, but we
I
still got to
didn't get
say,
a message from you.
well, I hope that was you. Again, it was really early in the morning.
Wow. I'm
So
gonna be honest with you. My inbox has not been addressed the way it usually is. I'm
oh,
very backed up in the inbox, so it might actually be in there. I owe a lot of friends a lot of apologies. I will respond to
well,
everyone.
we
I've
look,
just
I
been
know what the real blame is. We put
what?
your pretty face on camera. The ladies are seeing it, sliding right on in, messing up our vibe here.
I wish that were the case.
All right, what's up, Dad? How's it going tonight? He says, "Good evening,
Leon, what
everyone."
up? RMS, what's up, my man? You were a big part of the
we
show last night too, my friend.
got Steve Dog CC. What's up, Chris? How's it
What
going,
up,
man?
Steve? What's up? Wait,
Super
Steve
Lefty
Dog's name is
man.
Chris?
Yeah,
Oh, threw me for a loop. All
don't let it
right then.
confuse you.
Okay.
Constantine, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you here.
What's up?
Whoa, we got Billy Bat 78 from Argentina.
Love that. Love that.
No,
Welcome. Love
Manu,
that.
this is
Yes.
this is where you're supposed to come in singing Madonna. Don't
D-
cry for
don't
me,
don't cry for me. Yeah, I won't
Argentina.
though. I you do you're the
No,
singing.
I set it up.
Oh, I missed. I don't do I lost that assist. I'm not a sports guy.
Okay, got it. What's
I
up,
fumbled.
DO6? Hey, Diorama Rama. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you've sent me your address. I've got to find
I'm
it.
sure he did. I'm
But
sure
you
he
have it,
did.
don't you?
I do. Now I will send it to you because I thought you guys would figure it out as, as
Yeah, if you
like
don't
two
mind.
people that can figure stuff out, but I am going to send it.
Oh, two adults, who can handle their own
Two adults,
business, don't need
two
babysitting.
capable young people,
Got it. If you don't mind, send it to me.
I will. I got to remember. I don't have my pen for my
I think
notes.
you wrote it down
Wow.
last time.
Did I? Oh gosh. I'll leave a note on my desktop.
Dave says, besides Marvel Snap, ask Jonboy what it was like working with Todd. Oh, look, I feel like
So there's the Spawn stuff. I might have actually seen the Spawn artwork on John's page because I scoured the page.
We'll talk about it in a second, but I feel like a real reporter or journalist. Like I've got a whole list of notes here on my remarkable questions to ask. Like I wanted to become prepared because like this is a legitimate artist,
Wait, that's that fake writing thing?
Yeah.
I need one of those, and like everything stores as a file, right?
Yeah, but it actually writes like a notebook, and it does. You don't get all the distractions from it. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So old school, man.
I know, man. 97. Justin. Dave says I don't know anything past 1997. So there you go.
There we go. You're stuck in a time loop.
Yeah.
What's up? From High State. Hey, look at that. That's what you got to do, Manu.
Let's go.
Hawaii. 808.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Issues 8 through 15. Spawn 8 through 15. Is that what you're saying?
I think it was. Yes. There you go. Perfect.
I thought he started at 251.
The book? Oh no, he's talking about the artist edition book from last night. Sorry, not Jonboy Meyers. Yeah.
Got you. By the way, I got your wizard book.
Hey.
In the mail. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
You way overpacked it, by the way.
I overpack everything, my friend. That is just what I do.
I was like, I never in my life thought it was going to be that. I was like, wow, I've got something really special here. Like
some original art.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that is not how it was delivered to me, but that is how I deliver it to someone else.
Well, it was very well packed. What's up, Leto? How's it going?
Secret pet peeve.
Yeah, it took me 15 minutes to get it open.
That's hilarious.
Diorama, I really do appreciate that. It has been uniquely busy. That's for sure.
So what he's saying is he did send you his address. That is what that that's what that means.
That's
whoa, where'd my voice just go?
Oh, he sent it twice. He's not worried about it. Okay. It's a me problem.
I'm alleviated of my duties.
All right. I will look it up. I'll get it. But if I have any trouble, I know I can go to Manu. How about that?
Yes, of course. There you go.
Marvelous packs. Hey, Justin and Manu.
Friend,
Justin, what's your collector level on Marvel Snap? I think it's like 820.
I'm Platinum Plus, baby. Flyer miles. Get a load of me.
You ain't got no flyer miles. You won't go anywhere.
Ooh, MPAX. I want to tell you what happened with the car. We'll talk about it later.
Hold on. I'm about to show. I'm embarrassed. I feel like this should be a lot higher, but I don't spend any money on this. And, time is a factor too. But I do play when I can. But
is it really dark in here today? Darker than normal? Maybe.
825. That's what it is.
All right. I got you beat, buddy. You got work to do.
It's not going to focus. Oh, just in from the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. has halted its own balloons. If anybody was worried.
Halted its own balloons? We had balloons too?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, I think the balloons are ours anyway. I think it's all a conspiracy. Tinfoils, where you at? Or what are they called?
Tinfoils, dude, it is not the third hour.
Sorry, we got to hold.
Yeah, we got to. Don't ruin it before Jonboy gets here. Come on.
Scare everybody away before the show even starts.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's get back up here. Let's see. We got some more people to say hello to. Mr. Collector, how's it going? Free comic. What's up?
Oh, Mr. Collector, let me know if things right. You and I talked about something, right? You were telling me about a trade potentially. Let me know how that went. Sorry.
Yeah. We got first time commenter. Been watching the content for a few weeks now. Keep it coming. Well, that's really kind of you. Thank you.
Beautiful. ZX Trucker. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate that very much.
someone local to me here in my hometown that I did their home loan for messaged me today and they said, "Hey, I've been following the channel. You sure do put out a lot of content." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Like,
That he's like, "Where's my loan that you've been working on
I've
for
already
3
handled
months?"
that. That was
I know,
already
just
done. I was
teasing.
like, "Oh no." I was like, I said, "Well, everything's content." That's what I responded.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
When everything's content, it doesn't take a lot of work.
Oh, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. That's another one related to what you said. Yeah.
I do have a question
Yeah.
that I've been pondering. You know, I've got to give this some context, okay? I've
Okay.
been dancing, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I've been doing the whole dance thing, brand new to me, no prior experience worth noting. And the first thing is like just learning like where to like the moves. And it's all like
Mhm.
mental. I can't even hear the song. Like it's all
Okay.
mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I've been at it for about 3 weeks and I've really tried to shift to how do I dance with more of my heart and less of my head.
Oh,
That makes
yeah.
sense?
Yes,
And I
yeah.
got to thinking, where am I at as a collector? Am I collecting more with my heart or more with my head?
Mm.
Like, obviously you don't want to divorce one for the other, but
Yeah.
like, which one am I more shifted to? Am I like constantly, am I just thinking all the time about it? Like, or overthinking? Cause that's what happens when
Yeah.
I'm practicing.
Sure.
Or am I just like having a good time with it? And if I make a mistake, like, okay, like it's not the end of the world. I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you? Where are you
Um,
at with it?
well, first I want to say it's a great thought, but fortunately for us, right, singing and dancing, you
Mhm,
do have to disconnect for your thought because you have to feel what you're doing. It has to seem fluid, and you
mhm.
don't have time to think. If you're thinking, you're looking robotic. You can tell that you're thinking about
Oh
what's
yeah. My
happening
dance
next.
partner's like, "Hey, can you breathe? Like, it's okay to
Ex
breathe."
Right, and the
Mhm.
benefit we have in collecting is everything doesn't happen in a split second, the next move isn't right after the one that we just made, and we actually have the luxury of thinking and acting with our heart. So I'm a combination of the both.
Well, that's how I would have described you. I don't know that everybody's there. I don't know that
Yeah,
that's true.
we'll help if we can. If anyone can be, assisted by some of our
Mhm.
opinions and perspectives, we'll try.
That's what the show's here for. All right, we
Yeah.
got some more questions here. Are you guys going to HeroCon? HeroCon is generally in Charlotte, North Carolina. I think that's the only place it's ever been.
Okay.
What week is it? I will be in North Carolina at some point this year, but not for Heroes Con specifically. So if it just happens to land it on the right week, I might go.
And if
I
that
will
happens to be my first time ever in North Carolina, and it's when that happens, then I might be there too.
got you. Cars and Comment Freak says, Manu, nice to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you, my friend, and
Mhm.
congratulations on your latest acquisition. Quite a beautiful book. I won't ruin the surprise. We'll let you
Yeah.
unveil it, but congrats.
Nikki-ish It's says, unfortunately, those Marvel mobile games are a huge rabbit hole in the game currency.
Nikki, what up? So, two things I want to say. I love how you pronounced it to not say the thing, but it is the thing that you think the thing is, I think. And that's my guy. What's up?
What's
Welcome.
up,
Happy to
man?
have you with us, man.
I thought I'd just put a little spin on it,
I
little
like it.
Spidey hit spin on it.
I like it.
Uh, Marvelous Pack says, Justin, you need to get those numbers up. We have a Snap tournament on Twitter Space every Tuesday evening. That does sound
Wow.
like a lot of fun. And yes, I would be embarrassed to bring those numbers up, into a like legit tournament. What Marvelous Packs? Where are you at right now? Let me know. Okay,
Shed
Dave
some light.
says he says Joe Jusko probably should just tip his hat to you. Spidey Prince sold out quick.
Immediately. Yeah.
I did put it in a group that probably assisted, but I do what I can, and we need
Yeah.
to
I mean,
bring
there
back
were only 50 of them or something. It's
100
not
of each. 100 of each.
100. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
let me.
and I mean, no disrespect to any of the other prints, that was to me the best looking one. There were two Spider-Mans, but that one was my favorite.
Mhm.
And I like I told you, I almost pulled the trigger on the Venom one. Um, am I allowed to be? Can I be critical as to why I didn't?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because the number price box at the bottom has a certain vibe, and the Venom artwork has a certain vibe, and they do not match at all. You had this vintage classic distressed number box, price box, whatever it's called, the corner box, and then
Mhm.
you had a very beautiful Jusko, like one of the best looking Venoms ever. Like, I love that artwork, but they're from like two different centuries. Like, it was not a good combination on one piece of art, so I did not pull the trigger ultimately. The Spider-Man one, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is quite beautiful.
So this is the one I picked up, and this is what you're talking about at the bottom.
Yeah, so if you look at the Venom one, you'll see they just the relationship isn't quite what I would like it to be from the top and the bottom.
We'll get to the Venom. It's I think a great Vision. If you're a Vision fan.
Yeah, I like the purple Marvel to go with it too.
Black Panther, I like it. I would have liked him a little bigger, but
Yeah.
I get why he's not in this the way he did it. But
It is very cool art, though. Yeah, I agree.
so this says Jusco 16 and his buckler and something else underneath it. I wonder what that's about. These don't say
Maybe.
anything on it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's from something else.
I was gonna say maybe someone else colored it, but no, Jusco paints. He does the whole thing.
He does the whole thing. Got a really cool cap here.
Cool cap.
Then we've got Hulk. I can't see the comments, by the way, so if I'm missing something there, let me
Oh
know.
shoot! Yeah, sorry. Oh my gosh, there's a lot actually. T Bear Phil, hello. VP
So
Trading, what up? Grindstone, hello. Yeah.
I had a friend who picked up the Hulk. Then we've got
Mattis is with us. My goodness, I love this. Mattis, what up?
So Mattis,
you had a friend who picked up the Hulk, you said?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we've got Captain Marvel, looking great.
Yeah, looking cool.
And then we got the other Spider-Man, the one I passed on.
Yeah, still great looking.
Yeah, and look, I like it. I don't dislike it, but he's done, pulling the mask off a couple of times. This right hand is interesting. Can you see that?
The right hand.
Yeah.
Is it interesting? I don't know. Is it? Maybe. Why? What's interesting about it to you? The left hand, you mean?
The left hand, my apologies. Sorry.
Yeah, the left hand, now that I'm looking at it, that whole palm area is kind of big.
Yeah, something interesting there. It might make more sense in person.
I love when we criticize like the pros. Like, you make fun of me for doing. I like that you threw a little criticism out there. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. It's necessary. It's fine. You got it. You can't just accept everything.
So I like the Thanos. I'm always curious why we would draw him without the stones. I get that there's a lot of his storyline without it, but I mean, he's just known for that now.
Oh yeah, he's not stoned here.
Not stoned at all.
No.
And here it is.
I love that Venom, but I don't like this as one piece of artwork. It does not align with the box at the bottom for me.
Look at the tongue action.
I love it, bro. I think
it's Spidey logo at the bottom.
Yeah, it's sick. It's like a very Jusco.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can sense that Spidey just got away, and he's like ferocious about it.
Yeah, right. It's like almost like Bagley and Jusco got together to make the perfect Venom.
I dig it. And then this is what you're talking about at the bottom.
Yeah, that's so vintage, so antique shop, so old license plate, with the Coca-Cola machine next to it, that it doesn't fit to me.
It does feel like whoever designed this actually didn't understand comics, and the fact that there's never been a Venom comic that sold for 12 cents.
Oh, there's that element too. Yeah. Venom says, where do I get these? These are on
Hey, I'm going to share a link.
Okay.
Again, there's
Bottleneck Gallery. Bottleneck Gallery. Great company. I love their work. I've never purchased anything, but I love their work. They work with a lot of great artists.
Let me give a shout out real quick. Shout out to Matt Living Good. That's his last name.
Yeah.
Livengod, who sent me a message. We've never talked before. He said, "Hey, I think you'll like this." And he was right. And he sent it to me literally minutes before it went live. So I didn't have to do any kind of weird wait and look for it. I just saw his message, went and looked at it, and it was live, bought it, and it sold out right after. It sold out shortly later. I posted it in a Jusco group, and I think people started buying it.
Good looking out, living good.
Yeah, bud. Thank you. But I don't know. Let's see. this particular link that I just gave you doesn't say whether or not they're sold out, so you have to look somewhere else.
Oh, it's on their main page where it's their home page where you can see that. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. I'll drop this in there as well, just to give everybody a proper link.
Oh, it looks like Cap sold out. Let's just really quickly scan what's sold out so far.
Okay. Yeah, so Black Panther still has add to cart. Cap is out. Iron Man's still there. Spidey's out. Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel is out.
Wow.
Thanos is out.
Oh, Venom's out.
Yeah.
And when you click them, you can actually see how many are still available.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't. All right, we'll just click on one. 26 left of Iron Man.
All right, about 50. Oh, that's 25% left. Okay, man, these did really well. Congrats to Bottleneck, man.
What are the chances you can go to eBay right now and find one?
I'd say 0. I'd say right now the chances are 0. I mean, I could be wrong, but right now I'd say the chances are 0.
I mean, I would hope it's 0, but
this isn't one of those things where the hype spread out of the community of people that had the link, you know?
Yeah, makes sense. That's cool.
That was fun.
You want me to show you what has Mr. Jonboy Meyers coming to the show tonight?
Yes, please.
See if I can do this way. All right. So Jonboy Meyers is he's an artist that, we've already established that, but he did art on Marvel Snap. Okay. And I've been vocal about this here on the channel, but I've been looking for Marvel Snap art that, that I could buy, some original art. And it worked out that discovered Jonboy's stuff. And I'm gonna show you this piece. We shared it, I think, a few weeks ago. Here, let me do this. Actually,
might have been last week, wasn't it? I think it was last week, actually.
It wasn't last week. I don't think.
Okay.
But we shared this Rogue and the Venom.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And you were like helping me decide between the two.
So beautiful, man. It's so
beautiful. It is really nice. And it was, I made my decision, but let me tell you something. I'm so thrilled with my decision. And look, this is why. Look at that.
My friend, dude.
Look how big this thing is.
That's so good.
It is 11 by 17. Okay. It is so well drawn, so well done. I love at the top, he wrote Rogue Snap card. I just love that.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I love it.
He signed it at the bottom, which is great. Gosh, isn't that just stunning?
I don't have words, Justin. I mean, I wish just to stay in character, I wish I could criticize something. That thing is beautiful, man.
Stay in character.
That thing is absolutely beautiful. Congratulations. Incredible acquisition. So close to something you love so much, and it's just so special. So I'm very happy for you. That's really beautiful.
Absolutely thrilled. Yeah, absolutely thrilled. Yeah, it's hard not to want to buy more, to be honest with you, but it's not a cheap thing to collect.
Right.
But
excuse me, guys. Sorry, friends.
But yeah, no, I'm really pleased with it. A friend of mine bought the Venom, so the Venom's gone.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm,
Congrats to your friend. Very nice.
Yeah, it's good. So Alberto says, Medusa from Spider-Man Metal, is that John's art? Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know.
I don't either, but John will let us know.
Yeah. And I think he might be on here in about another 15 or 20 minutes, probably around 6:45 your time. Had to put the kids to bed, I think, first.
Got it. I like how Leon just said left hand, but that's not quite a delay. That's only like a 5-minute delay.
Yeah. Well, it's this whole weird reverse thing that's happening, looking into the camera and all that kind of stuff. But
Symbiotes by Nature says the Venom looked like an homage to Bagley. Yeah, I'm with you. And good evening, my friend.
Yeah, I tell you, you made a statement, and I want to mention this to John. You said, "Hey, look, his art," and let me just bring it up.
Oh, may I say? Because I know what you're going to say. I watched the episode, and thank you so much for mentioning. I just want to say Well, I'll let you say. Well, no, yeah, it was. I love that you mentioned it, but it was. It reminded me of um 90s meets now, and you
Hmm.
you said it beautifully. You said 90s meets modern, but I was just like, oh, I wanted the now.
Now, 90s
Yeah,
meets now. That sounds even better. I love
I
that.
liked it. Yeah, but that's what it
Um,
feels like to me. His stuff, man.
especially like this one, the grifter here
Yeah,
from Wildcats.
yeah.
I meant to tell. I have a friend that's a big Hellboy fan. I meant to tell him that Jonboy was going to be on tonight.
This is exciting, and thank you for the mention in that video. That was a good video.
Hmm. Oh yeah, you mean my Marvel news? Yeah.
Yeah, at the end you said, Manu said 90s meets modern, and I was so happy. And then I was like, oh, I wanted him to say now.
I'll get it right next time.
I just busted my tooth on this cup. That's what I get for you doing something nice, mentioning me, and then me like saying, but see, karma, my friend,
Well,
world's
you're
on your
back in
side.
character. I'm glad. I'm glad
Oh
you.
yeah, there you go. Can't stay away for too long.
I love this Scarlet Witch. If the Scarlet Witch would have been available at the time of purchase, I actually would have purchased this one.
Would you have? Yeah, I bet you would have actually, yeah. Dude, that
It
rogue
just
is so good looking though.
Yeah, and it's not a
Oh,
slight on the Rogue by any stretch, obviously.
no, I
But
know. Yeah.
here's the Venom,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting because in the art we were like, hey, the foot gets small here, but you can see it was designed to fade away in the actual
Yeah.
full colored image.
Right, right. And I noticed something very similar on the Sabretooth piece as well.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah, that's right. The
yeah,
Sabretooth here is too cool.
right.
Although they took the
Andrew
blood out
P,
of the
what up?
game.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. It's
Look
Marvel
at this
Snap.
Hobgoblin, man.
Oof.
That's sick.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's gone. Dang it. Okay. I
Oh,
like it.
sorry.
No, it's
But
cool. Yeah.
with his Spawn, you see how Spawn has teeth showing?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So a lot of his Spawn, people have said it looks like a Venom. It looks symbiote-ish.
Hey, it's created. Well, I guess there's a little controversy about who created Venom originally or whatever, but yeah, makes sense. I
Yeah.
like it.
So here you can kind of see it more here, but that's a remark that, wow, look at that remark.
Yeah, that's something. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. You're like, look at this
Yeah, the
remarks he got.
remarks are incredible.
By the way, I just found out last night how to go full screen on StreamYard. So like, this is crazy. 50 weeks in, I just learned how to do that.
With two people like this,
No, like to
or
actually just look at the screen. No, I don't know how to drive the program. That's all you.
oh,
But for the first time on my phone, I'm actually able to see it larger than my pinky nail.
I see. I see. Okay. All right, let's go back. Free Comic says, Justin, after your posting about it, I went and looked for some original Doom Snap art. Alas, artists did it digitally, unfortunately. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you one of the reasons I went ahead and pulled the trigger for this purchase, outside of everything about what makes it awesome, is that what I'm hearing is a lot of the artists kind of got tired of the back and forth changes, and it was just easier to do a digital with the changes that they were having to make instead of drawing it
Oh,
every time.
yeah, that makes sense. There's
Yep.
a lot of advantage to the digi.
Hmm. Shades of J. Scott. So
Yeah,
in on John Boy's website, he does say that um, Campbell was one of his major influences.
yeah, yeah. Alonzo, what up?
Mhm.
What's going on? Man,
Yeah,
we missed a lot of hellos. I hope don't
we
be
did.
mad at us. I want to
Andrew
catch
P.
up with everybody.
Pack says Rogue is gorgeous. Congratulations, that's a special for sure, dude. I look here are my thoughts about it, and I'm gonna sound like I'm hyping it, but I think Marvel Snap as a game has some legs, but I think it has merchandising potential.
It
I
looks like it does.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where this is merchandised in some way, whether it ends up on a true trading card, whether it ends up on a shirt or whatever. Like, I can see that. And so I was like, I better go ahead and grab this while I can.
I can see it becoming a variant cover to a comic book. Like, look at
Hmm.
that artwork, man. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you.
And it's Rogue. It's going to go with the Just Go Rogue.
Right. Exactly.
I'm gonna start collecting Rogue now.
You're a rogue collector. You've gone rogue.
I've gone Rogue. Well, it makes sense. My brother's a Gambit collector, so
That's perfect, actually.
it does go together.
Yeah. Did you buy the original Gambit for your brother? Of course you did.
Of course, it did not. I don't know where it's at, to be honest with you.
That's easy.
I could probably figure it out, but I haven't had time. Sin City Cards. Evening, my
What's
friends.
up,
What's
my
up?
man? What's going on? Man, he's got books, dude. He's got like way more books than I thought. Like big Spider-Man Silver Age Grail books.
You talking about?
Sin City.
Oh, Sin City's got
Cards
books.
and comics. Yeah. He's got books.
Yeah. He's cool. He's got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
What's up, Alonzo? How's it going?
My man. I love podcasts. Oh, welcome. Welcome, my friend. It's been some time. Hello.
So Alberto says Jonboy did do the Medusa. That's cool.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Oh, Mark's here. Mark Bartle?
Bartle? Yeah.
Bartle?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Dude, he does amazing work.
Do I know his work?
He does a lot of sketch card stuff, and it kind of has a and I hope you hear this well, Mark. Like it reminds me of like Andy Kubert, like Wolverine from the 90s. Like,
Oh, okay.
kind of that style. I really like it a lot.
I got to check that out then. If we're, I got to get a refresher on that. Awesome. Welcome. I mean, thank you for being with us.
Card Vibe says, "Hey, fellas, you got me back into Marvel cards and comics.
Yay.
We're doing the good work."
That's right. I love it.
Thank you, Lonzo. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it's crazy looking. It's really great.
Yep. Dave agrees with Mark for sure.
Oh, dude. All right.
There are a ton of variants in Marvel Snap. Keeping up with that's been a lot of work. But there is a Rogue variant that I'm eyeballing right now. I may just, you wake up and it's a lot of money. It's like, wow, I spent how much? So I got to be careful.
Sure.
Alonzo says you need to take the game over now with Rogue. I'm working on it.
You got to do what Alonzo would do and just get everything.
Just everything.
Everything.
Keith says, I appreciate you leaving your Dark Phoenix and Spidey lane. Great way to step out. Well, I appreciate that. At some point, it's about alignment. It's like, hey, I didn't choose the Rogue art for Just Go. Like, it was randomized. And then, this was all that was really available to me in terms of like Venom or Rogue. Those were the two pieces I could buy. You know what? Let's just double up on Rogue.
And nothing wrong with that. Yep. That's a win.
I do get people telling me warnings about diving into original art. Like, number one, you can get, I think you can get taken advantage of.
Sure. Yeah. Who's going to tell you what the price is supposed to be?
Yeah. Or somebody could say it's original. Do you really know?
Oh.
Like,
oh.
Because there's preliminaries, originals, drafts of it. Like a lot of times artists will take multiple steps before the thing that's actually used to be published, right?
Good point.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important, like, if it's original art, is it actually tied to something that was licensed and published? Actual comic cover, an actual magazine or game cover, something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert in original art, so don't hear me that way.
I'm just of that world.
Giving you some concerns and warnings about just somebody says this is original art and you just buy it as if it is. Do you really know? You got to be careful.
Wise words, man. Wise words.
Buying it directly from the artist, really good way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Chris, hello, Spidey and 99.
What up?
Josh says, have you seen the Dark Phoenix of 2008 Marvel masterpiece, Bring On the Bad Guys? Was putting a set in the binder and thought you would like the card. I am certain I've seen it and actually may have it sitting right here because we opened up Very 2008 cool. Recently. Mark said he loves the Kubert Bros. Thanks for the kind words. I'm in it.
Oh, very nice.
Dave says, Justin, I hope you follow down the path of original art. It is rewarding and, well, very expensive.
You know, I don't know if I want to join you guys. Listen, when you guys are selling something, let me be the person that sells it. Let me get involved in some way, but I'm
Mhm.
too scared to buy some of the stuff yet.
What would you buy? Like if it came up and it was within the realm of financial possibilities.
The cover for Wizard #1.
Where is it? Where
Well,
is it?
it sold for $30,000 in 2013, so now it's
Yeah.
probably $3 million sitting somewhere. I don't even know what I would get, dude. I don't know. I don't even think about it because it's intimidating. Like,
All right, I'm gonna make a hypothetical. What if the Bill Sienkiewicz Maximum Carnage art became available and it was
whoa,
$28,000?
buying it.
You'd buy it.
Bro, I literally think my 9.8 signed by him is worth close to that, just not represented in
Oh,
the market in
yeah,
that way. You
right.
know, like I think that's that rare and scarce a cool thing that in 10, 20 years that price will catch up. That art for 30 grand? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like it.
And I don't even know how that art was created. It's like a hodgepodge of weird things, some Bagley, some Sienkiewicz. Bring it on. Let me see what the original is, and I'll buy it if it's
Somebody literally
28,000.
has like stuff like taped on a piece of paper, like in
Yeah.
layers or something.
Yeah. Like, and then it was photocopied.
Yeah. All right, we got to read this from Grindstone. He says, I have a story to share. I have to share this story. Man, I'm so dyslexic. My coworker went out and found a box of Marvel Metal after I told him about it. We opened at work and he pulled a Doctor Strange sketch. The excitement was shared in the room. Well, that is awesome.
Yeah.
How
Wow.
cool is that? To have that
Very
experience.
cool.
Sketches or case hits, 1 in 12 boxes, 144 packs.
And and I always, anytime I say something that makes me sound rather insane, I want to back it up and say that book that I said I think is worth that much is not worth that much. That's just me
Right.
saying emotionally what I feel it's worth. It's not.
Yeah.
It's worth a fraction of that. There you go. Just
Well,
wanted
I
to cover
appreciate you
my butt.
double clarifying, but you said enough for me to
Okay.
hear that.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
But yeah, no, you and I have this thing. So
Yes, exactly. We don't even have to speak.
Brittany said Rose, the girl. I have to agree. She's pretty amazing.
Rogue's the girl. That's true. And Brittany, what up?
And just, man, could you imagine Rogue done like full out Rogue, true X-Men style on the big screen?
I'm ready for that. I mean, I remember that from
Mhm.
back in the day. We had Rogue in the X-Men movies.
Yeah, no, come on now. Really?
Didn't we? I mean, I remember it a little
We
bit,
had
but I
Rogue,
remember
but it wasn't full on Rogue.
it wasn't like the animated series came to life. It wasn't like that,
Okay, let me ask you a
you
question.
know.
And I could be just like not misremembering because those aren't
Sure.
my favorite movies. But did she fly?
I just remember as like a regular girl with a streak of gray
Yeah, it looked
hair.
like but it looked like an aged streak, not like a
A s-
style that was seared in her, because she like took somebody's powers and got it, like Magneto's.
I just only remember the human aspect of her. I don't remember her flying. I don't know if she did. Someone
I,
will
I
let me
just,
know, but I don't know.
I, I just, yeah, I
Dude,
don't even
I don't
remember.
even remember those movies, man. I remember Rebecca remains Stamos because she's Rebecca remains Stamos, Stamos like that. Or I don't think that's her name anymore, but that's who I
You remember
remember.
Mystique.
Yeah, because of who the actress was. Like I was in love with that woman. So yeah,
Well, let's say they got Mystique right, but I think they missed on Rogue, or maybe that was the perfect Rogue for that movie, but not the Rogue
maybe
that I want to see.
not the Rogue that we're gonna get. Yeah,
Yeah, not she was Rogue
Alberto
in name
says
only,
in name only. Yeah, that we
not
need
this.
that Rogue to become live action. Yeah,
I want big hair and all shucks, boys.
there you
Like
go.
I'm
There you
telling you,
go. Yeah, put it
and I
out into
want
the
that.
universe.
And I want that whole tension between her and Gambit, where they're like, do they like each other? Is this going to work? Like, but
Yeah.
it never actually works.
Are they kissing on the cover? Are they not kissing on the
Yeah,
cover?
right.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
I think so too.
Marvelous says every time I see Rogue, it makes me excited for X-Men '97.
Yeah, cheers to
Which
that.
which reminds me, it was this time last year when I had Eric and Julia Leadwall on, and I need to get them back on for an update about what's happening for X-Men '97. So thanks for the reminder there, bud.
That'd be
Because
terrific. Yeah.
because that should come out, I think, by October this year, something like that. So Alonzo says, oh, wait, I do want to get to this question. Or first this statement. I love this show. Thank you, Spidey and Manu, for making it so special. Wow. Thank you for making it special.
Thank you.
And then Captain Crackpot says, do you have your collection insured? And so the answer is yes and no. The answer is yes and yes, but you're actually supposed to keep a detailed list of what is insured.
Okay.
And I don't update that as much as I should.
Okay.
So like this is like here. I mean, you could technically say I've got it documented in photos and on camera, but I don't have it in my insured list that I've submitted to my agent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you gotta have to prove that you owned it.
Right. Oh, I just got this $1 million detective.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa was hanging back here.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't work. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
So, Alonzo says, I feel like it's a lot more fun when you PC multiple characters than just one or two. That's a budget thing, brother.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of fun to be had, but how many funds are available?
You ought to like write raps or something, dude. That's
really I thought about that once. I thought about talking and stuff.
Yeah. Wanted to have fun, but it didn't have no funds. I like it. Okay. I know how much people, it's about to happen, everybody, but let me finish reading this. I know how much people love the X-Men. Nothing wrong with collecting art inspired from that 90s X-Men show and Jim Lee art that changed the game for us nostalgically. Thanks, Pax. Well, everybody, the moment we've all been waiting for. We got him here.
Hey, what's going on?
Mr. Jonboy, how's it going?
What's up, man? I'm here. Sorry.
You made it, dude.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hey, what's up?
Look, you're a minute early.
I am a minute early. Are we live?
We are absolutely live. We've got 70 people watching us.
Oh, sweet. Hey, everybody. That's the chosen ones. So
that's right. Well, look, I got to acknowledge this. Look, you honored your word, and that always means so much and speaks so much about somebody when you do that. And I really do appreciate it.
Well, I'm a fan just like you guys. It's always good to get together and talk comic books, man. I'm a fan at heart. So even if I wasn't drawing, I'd still be collecting. So, it's yeah.
Well, Jonboy, let me do a little bit of an introduction for you. Here we got Manu here, the 9.9 Newsstand collector.
Right on. What's up?
Nice to meet you, my man. How are you?
Good.
Manu is a true 90s, what's the right word? Like a critic, true 90s critic of
I'm
art.
A critic, a nostalgia nut and a critic.
Connoisseur,
there you go.
That's a good word.
We're going to replace snob with connoisseur from now on. Thank you for that.
With a particular emphasis, though, on Newsstand and Wizards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wizard magazines and Newsstand comic books, they just have a piece of my heart. So that's kind of where I spend a lot of my time.
Yeah, Wizard had everything, and then the internet, and just that was it.
Yeah, it became rather obsolete. But it had a nice run, and now we remember it in such a magical way, and it's the memory that I cherish more than the physical items, but I still cherish the physical stuff too. I'm involved in them every day, but yeah, it had its run.
Yeah, the Newsstand stuff is really hard to get too, especially in great condition. So if you're a big Amazing Spider-Man 300 collector, so the direct market stuff is great to get at 9.8, but if you get a 9.8 or higher off a Newsstand, that's like fighting a unicorn in a supermarket smoking a J. What I mean? What I mean?
Did Justin tell you to say this stuff to win me over completely? Am I supposed to be?
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I can't afford that stuff. There's no way.
I have to grade out a 9.8 Newsstand of a 300 because I'm not going to go spend $16,000, $20,000. I think it's worth it, but I don't want to cash out for it. I want the mission of submitting and grading a 9.8 Newsstand of a 300. I haven't succeeded yet. Oh, I've tried though.
It's tough, man. Unless you find one and you get it pressed. I guess that's the thing about it is pressing kind of cheating, or is it just kind of?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know.
Oh man, Is it
We're not
cheating?
re-
That's going to be our next episode.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Like if you're actually grading books where they're just on the rack, and then it's kind of like if you actually graded it by that value, the bar would be changed across the board, because then it would be like, you'd be like, a 6.5 is amazing. But maybe, but it's still amazing for key books. Don't get me wrong. But
You're actually right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's such an interesting point. Like, I mean, we talk about this often, but you're absolutely right. Pressing a book is not its natural state. You are improving how it survived over the years.
right.
But I kind of like the boundaries we've created, where something turns into conservation or restoration. I like that boundary. Like, flatten it out. Okay, we accept it, but don't color anything in. If the crease broke color,
Right.
it broke color. But if it just kind of was folded because, it got folded. So yeah, but I do get what you're saying. Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine a world where we weren't allowed to press? That 9.8 newsstand would be worth $150,000.
Yeah, well, that would change the
Wouldn't it?
whole thing completely. It would be a totally different market, and we'd be
Yeah.
fighting over like 5.5s or 3.2s, and we're thinking like, "Oh my God, it's a 3.2! It's so awesome!" We're just like, yeah, it would be a different world for sure.
Yeah, I
I
mean
love
it's paper, so it's
Yeah.
gonna have some defects
Yeah.
over time. I mean, would you press the Declaration of Independence?
Oh,
Well, they clean it and they restore
They
it.
do clean it. Yeah, so that they do.
they're not grading that though, right? Like, they're just cleaning.
Well, I
and
think there's
restoring
what,
it
8 known
for-
copies. So yeah, I would imagine.
I think they're actually. I think is it the Declaration or the Constitution? I think the Constitution. There's 50 originals that were quote unquote originals that were made,
Right.
and I think they've only found 25 of them. And I think the Constitution. I thought they made 7, but
Is it 7? Yeah, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've heard either one of those, but
yeah.
interesting. Look that back
I
up.
thought there was only one of each of those. So
Yeah. But good evening, everybody, too, by the way. I see all your comments. Glad to be here. Glad to be part of the board, talking to you guys. I'm very
Yeah, look, you don't need an introduction necessarily, especially with this group. But look, really appreciate your art. We've already been talking about it. I went back and was like looking back into your bio. You've been at this, I mean, kind of in an official capacity since the 90s, right?
Yeah, like unofficially, if you count like all my stuff with like Kirkman's Funkatron, like that's like another 5 years. So maybe a little more than 30 years officially, counting indie work. But professional work, maybe about 27, 28 years. So it's a long time, man.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
Oh, dude, yeah, and yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, somebody said 2006 the other day, and then they were accused of being old, and I was like, wait, 2006 wasn't that long ago, and I realized in 3 years it'll be 20 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it goes by quick. I think when you're older, then it doesn't seem like that long. I think the thing about getting older is the younger you are, time slows down a little bit because you're not really experiencing the world. You only have a limited amount of experiences, so time goes longer because you're repeating stuff like school. When you graduate and get into the real world and start having real experiences and growing up, then things tend to speed up. Like, your days are different. There's so many different things going on, and
Gosh, that's such an interesting point, because I think that kind of speaks to why I enjoy what we're doing here with the hobby, because we do discover new things we haven't seen before, and it freshens up life a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of good to wax nostalgia on things that we were collecting as kids, and for me, those things still hold true. I'm so passionate about those things now as I was then. I was just like, I would do the search driving to like I lived on an army base, so they're called BXs, but they're basically like 7-Eleven. So I'd ride my little like crappy little bike everywhere with my backpack, and I try to find these comics I've been dying to look for, because like one shop would get like, I collected G.I. Joe, so like G.I. Joe 35, and then there'd be a gap in my collection. I'm like, oh, so I hit this base is like maybe 7 miles, 10 miles. So I'm driving to every BX I know, trying to look for these other issues just to see like, oh, like is the back issue here? Because that's a bad thing about collecting on Newsstand is you always have these gaps. You never know when the next issue is going to come in. You're just kind of like.
And look, Jonboy, all Manu can think of to ask is, do you still have your childhood collection? And does it have Mark Jewelers in them?
No, you knew, because you said Army base, and I was like, Newsstands, Mark
Yes,
Jewelers?
a lot of them do, actually. I think I have a lot of my Man of Steel books that have that in there. There's a couple of X-Men books that have that. And I think a couple of Alpha Flight books that I have that too. So
we need a John Boy pedigree.
no, there's
Newsstand Mark Jeweler pedigree.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the Mark Jeweler thing, like I know that like people are like totally going bananas over that, but I'm just like, come on, man. Like just honestly, the fact that it's Newsstand alone is just for me always in my mind. Like
Sure.
it's the rarest of the rare to try to get, because you just never knew where those issues would pop up. Whereas opposed to like direct market, it's completely different. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see myself spending extra $200 or $1,000 extra just because it has a jewelry insert. That's me because
Well,
I'd rather like save my money to buy like toys or something cool, like a hot toy or something like, hey, you
Yeah.
know what, like, because when you get married, there are certain purchases you just can't make without checking in with your spouse because
Yep.
like, yeah, man, like you can't like,
That explains a lot.
yeah. She's like, oh, well, what happened to that
John
2000?
Boy, that's why I'm just into Legends. I can't do the hot toys because they're
Yeah,
too expensive.
yeah. That's
I just buy enough Legends to equal up to hot toys, but I never say I spend more than like $25 on an action figure.
Yeah, that's weird that an action figure is now $25 and it used to be like $8, right? It's like,
Yeah,
and this is like 20 years ago. Again, here with 20 years ago, like
right.
wow.
Well, I mean, 20 years ago, you got in the toy biz, you got the figure, you got accessories, a base, and a comic book, and a Build-A-Figure piece.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and
And
sometimes
so,
a trading card with those too. Yeah, the Marvel Legends ones. Yeah,
trading cards. And that, I do want to ask you, that's like one of my first questions
sure.
is Marvel cards, like physical trading cards, has it ever had a place in your collection, in your life, in your work, anything like that?
Yeah, like in the 90s, like or mid 90s, I guess when Fleer was a thing, they
Mhm.
had the Jim Lee set and they had the comic creator set and they had the Valiant set and
Mhm.
the Defiant Comics Plasm, World Plasm set. Like I bought into all that like an idiot. So I still have my Jim Lee cards. I still have my Marvel Masterpiece cards, the Joe Jusko ones, and I have the ones like a bunch of different artists did. You know what I mean? In the 90s, like Arthur Adams did some, and then Jim Lee did a couple. Jim Lee did like the Wolverine ones.
Mhm.
I still have those, but actually, I just moved. We just moved into a new place, and I remember, like, oh, this is my old cards. I kind of dust them off. I'm like, oh, should I put this in storage? I'm like, you know what? I put them in the shelf. So there's somewhere.
Oh, what would be really cool is like if they just sat down one day and just went through them, like each one, and
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
really
like you
cool,
said.
man. They're all works of art into
Mhm.
themselves, and it's kind of like comics don't really do that anymore. They don't do the bag trading card thing. Like
Mhm.
maybe it was a 90s thing, but I guess it was. Yeah, man, God, that takes me back.
oh, you mean like a trading card included with the book or with the
Yeah,
magazine?
yeah, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
on the
I
inside. Yeah.
like
yeah, we
X-Force did
haven't
that.
seen that.
No, we haven't seen that since. It's like, what happened to that?
Yeah.
That was a
Oh
thing.
yeah, X-Force, famous for the Deadpool card, right?
That's
Isn't
right.
that the book?
That's
Yeah.
right. And like, how expensive are those cards now? Pretty
In
like
a PSA 10, they fetch a pretty penny, you know?
Yeah,
really.
they did some weird stuff price-wise because people just didn't understand how many there really were.
Yeah.
And they've come down, but still, like,
Right.
they cost more than the comic book. So
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of
it's
interesting.
interesting.
That's the thing about the collectibility market. You just never know what's going to hit. The thing about it is so funny to me is just like there's so many like a million copies out there, right? And you're just like,
Mhm.
well, it's not necessarily rare. Maybe just one guy owns a large portion of it and he hoards the market. That's why they're so hard to find. But I mean, it's cool the fact that those things are attainable though, because like things that are a million plus copies, I think the back issues nowadays are a lot harder to get because you're talking about a shrinking market and you're talking about like 20,000 is a decent seller. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of like whatever is it, which is kind of unique.
Mhm.
So,
We
um,
got to address this. We got Cody, by the way, who gave a super chat here. Thank you so much,
hey,
Cody.
Thank you.
He's got a very
given to the cause. Thank you.
He did. Thank you so much for that. He does have a really interesting question. He says, does John Boy have an architectural or mechanic drafting experience? The geometry and the line weights make me think of that. I'm an architect.
Mm,
No, not really. No, but it's more about just creating readability. So when you're looking at stuff, certain things pop forward and things push back. It's the idea of like sometimes putting a thicker outline on a character in a group shot kind of makes things pop out a little bit more, make it stand out. Like it's not yeah, like oh, they're like Rogue. Like there's there's thick and thin lines in there, and you're kind of assigning line weights. So usually it goes like an inker will tell you, and I'm not an inker, but an inker will tell you like, lines on the bottom of a chin or underneath a piece of cloth or under a shadow light are a little bit thicker than the ones on top. The ones on top are a little bit thinner. So I kind of have a naturally heavy hand sometimes. So that's why it's like when we're coloring, I'll actually do things to kind of push some line art elements back a little bit, so it creates a better effect. It's a little bit more. And,
but
at
the same time, the composition of this is
people like
well done
about that now after we posted it, and like people are like, hey, is that for sale? I was like, oh no, I don't own it. Like, who owns it? I was like, well, if the owner wants to say they own it, they can say that. It's like, like, I'll buy it from you. I'm like, dude, I just told you I sold it. I don't
You're talking about the road?
I'm talking about the road, yeah. So
well, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this now. I had a wonderful buying experience from you. Really appreciated the communication. You were very engaged. You gave me the information I needed. The piece is more than I even anticipated. It's one thing to see it in the photo. It's another thing to hold it. It's especially at the size and scale. And I understand that not everything you do may be 11 by 17, but if you have an opportunity to talk to Jonboy about an original art piece, I'd say do it.
Yeah, hey, hit me up. Like there's only 10. I did 10 of them that were traditional. I think it was my agent has all that stuff, but it was Venom, Sabretooth, Rogue, Scarlet Witch, Blade, Star-Lord, Hobgoblin,
Star-Lord.
Oh man,
it's a good week to put Star-Lord up.
Like 2.5 years ago, man. So
okay, so
really?
Okay, so this actually gets into. So I had intro, show off Rogue, and then my next question. So I got my notes here. What was the process of becoming an artist for Marvel Snap?
I met the art director. I think I was one of the first or second guys hired. It was, I think, myself and Ryan Benjamin that were hired. Ryan Benjamin.
And that's the art director?
No, Jamaro Kindred is the guy who's art director.
Jamaro Kindred is the art director. Ryan Benjamin, I've seen his art. In fact, we've got somebody in the chat that's friends with Ryan, and I have actually messaged him. He has some original art.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, we all do. Like we're not idiots, right? We're like, okay, we're gonna keep as much as we can. Like I only did 10.
Yeah,
I think I did 25 cards total, but like Snap and Marvel are like super like iterative. So there's always patches or change this or move that. Like even when I scan things in, like your Rogue, I'll still go in and do some digital touch up on it. Like it's twice up, so when it reduces, some of those little spaces close up. So I'm like, okay, let me open those back up a little bit. I kind of want this. Let me tweak that. But Will Sportatio did a lot too. Thanks, Derpa do. So so at some point I just said, screw it. Like I'm tired of like, because if you change the art too much from the original, people are like, this is not the original. I'm just like, I'll just because it's just like, I'm spending way too much time on corrections and stuff like that. I just got to the point where it's just like, man, dude, like I've been working for Marvel Comics for like at that point like 25, 26 years, and like, people telling me like how to draw Thor or like Thor's mouth is wrong. I'm just like, okay. It's like, all right, I'm out. Like, okay,
you're out.
It's like, okay. But I
mean,
so
2.5 years ago, someone reaches out and they say, hey, we got an app game that we're making called Marvel Snap.
Yeah, they were doing a Marvel card game. They told me that a guy named Ed Brode, all these guys in Jamaro are former Blizzard guys. They were the guys who kind of helped make Hearthstone a thing over at Blizzard. They all decided to do their own startup, which was Second Dinner, and they got the license to do Marvel cards and do a unique Marvel card game. And like I hit it off with Jamaro right away. He's a very personable guy, and we talked about some ideas. And for me, I'm always like, hey, what's different about this from Hearthstone? Like, are you guys going to try to put a narrative onto it? And I don't think they really have. I think they have a little bit with the game.
They do, they do like what do they call them? Campaigns. I can't remember if that's the right word, but
something like that. Yeah, you gotta add a narrative element, because at some point the games move so fast, even in Hearthstone, that it's kind of very repetitive, and you you get that dopamine rush gets less and less every time you win. So at some
Yeah.
point, it hits a level out point, and you got to go like, there's nothing to engage people a lot that they're going to be popping in and popping out of your game all the time. So if you put a narrative element where it's going somewhere else, where you play enough, you hit this, like you got Infinity Stones. It's called Snap. Hey, do Infinity Stones, and you can get a stone, and you're supposed to, like at this point, then you can fight godlike characters like Galactus and Thanos and things like that. You should up the gameplay like that instead of, But I mean, it's their game. Like I'm always like, I worked on AAA games before, and I was just like, well, like, what are you gonna do different? Like, what's exciting about it? Because it is a very exciting game. Don't get me wrong, but at some point, it's kind of like, okay, like, all right, like you kind of know what cards to play and when to play it. And the thing about it is when a game stretches you, that kind of challenges you a little bit and has a bit more of a narrative that kind of helps you elevate as you move, as you progress. Like it doesn't, because the idea is like to have gold, diamond, or platinum players. That's kind of the goal. That's what you want from a game experience where people can have something they can stand on. Like you do these Snap tournaments and you do these things like that. Like, it opens you up.
Yeah, somebody in our chat says they have a Twitter Snap tournament every Tuesday now.
Yeah, there you go. See, now it'd be great to have one that is sponsored by Second Dinner, where you have a championship and there's some money involved. Then it's like,
oh, that'd be really cool.
And then you watch people play Snap, and you guys really get into it. And the thing about it is they introduce maybe a random card into that people can possibly win while they're playing in the tournament, so you can use that card at any time. Who knows?
That'd be fun.
Can someone just tell me what Second Dinner is real quick? I know I should know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the maker of the game Snap.
Oh, okay.
They licensed it from Marvel. So
it's really interesting. If you go follow Second Dinner on Instagram, they actually don't have a lot of followers. I don't think people really have connected that Second Dinner is actually who is behind Marvel Snap.
Maybe that's their social media person has not done a good job.
Yeah.
Well, the Marvel Snap IG page is plenty big, so I think that's what they really want to focus on. We do have some questions, and I do want to keep the chat here engaged. Free Comics asks, is the Blade original art still available? Is that something you're open to talking about?
Yeah. So my agent, her name is Belly. She's the one who actually doles all these out. So we were doing it in blocks of 3 because we just didn't want to flood. Like I only have like 10 of these, so we're just going to trickle it out every couple of months. So I think the next 3 that are coming out is Taskmaster. It's Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I think it's Blade. And then the ones after that is Elektra, Star-Lord. Oh man, something else. She sent me an email. I could dig it up.
What was the 3? Blade, Taskmaster, and who?
I think it's Elektra.
Isn't that Scarlet Witch?
No, Scarlet Witch is in the third one. And I think I've got Iceman and Hobgoblin. I think those are the ones.
Dude, Hobgoblin has got to look great. Like
it's amazing looking. Yeah.
Iceman and Hobgoblin are actually double page spreads because I did.
Whoa.
So you get all the glider because I like doing art twice up and then you're reducing it. It reduces down. You get so much more detail in there. It's like, So that's that. Yeah. So that's why I did that.
Keith asks, anyone you haven't had an opportunity to draw but want to, perhaps X-23?
I would have loved to have done X-23. I wanted to do all of the Guardians of the Galaxy, to be honest with you, but it just didn't happen. So the thing is, they kind of assign stuff to you. You don't really get to pick and choose, which is kind of sad. So
X-23 is like the biological daughter of Wolverine.
A clone of Wolverine, but they made her female, which doesn't make sense. So
okay.
It's the female clone of Wolverine, and I take it that there's 3 different female Wolverines. There's Honey Badger. They're all the same girl at different ages.
Really?
Yeah. There's X-23, and then there's Wolverine. So
yeah, the Wolverine I've seen. I actually think I may have I think when that cover came out, I think I may have grabbed one of those.
So
Keith is an X-23 collector. That's why he's asking.
Oh yeah. I love X-23. I just wish that they didn't ruin Wolverine. It's like he's such a cool character, and now it's just like he's not special anymore. And you're just like, man, what'd you do to Wolverine? You ruined.
It's hard for me to think of Wolverine anything different than the 80s and 90s.
You know what? That was the peak Wolverine, and they had a great thing, and they ruined it. They're like, let's put him everywhere. Let's give him hot claws. It's like, why? I don't know.
Well, they've done it with Spider-Man. He's everywhere. And
yeah, well,
all different versions.
Yeah, but like, I get it because that keeps the IP going. That's why they reinvent all the time. They're like, you know, John Kent is also Superman as well, and it's the idea is like there's Supermen, there's Spider-Men, there's Wolverines. Like it's really strange to me. It's like
Wolverine.
Wolverine, right? Like, it's like watering down the brands. Like, can you just like? I understand you can create these cool, interesting backstories, but man, you can like, you know.
Have you seen the Daughter of Wolverine where she's got the magical claws that come out because her mom was magical?
What? Oh yes, I remember that.
I remember her name.
Yeah, she's Asgardian, right? Yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember hearing something like that. And the first things that came to my mind were dumb. That is so dumb. But to me, it's just like it always feels like a cash grab because like comic readers are very smart, and you don't have to do stuff like that to make books interesting. Because at some point, like it's just a bunch of old guys sitting in a room, like, oh, what can we do now? It's like, oh, let's make a Wolverine. It's like, what already did? Like, well, maybe Logan slept with an Asgardian. They have an Asgardian daughter. Like, yeah. Like, dude, like, is that the best you could do? Is that like you're not even trying anymore, man?
Doo. First of all, thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, "Oh God, I'm having flashbacks of the N-Nose Wolverine."
Yeah.
I have to confess, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either, but I feel your pain. I feel like I'm doing an old man.
I love it. I don't know what it is, but I know I'd be disappointed if I knew. So I'm with you.
It's like, man, I just feel like it you know, comics are such a special thing, and I think the thing about it is what makes it special is the characters are so unique. Oh, No-Nose Wolverine. That's right. That's where he was in beast mode, where he like they took the
No-Nose Wolverine
and he continued to mutate. And again, you're just like, man, like if comics had a jump in the shark moment where Fonz jumped over the shark, that would probably be it. Because like you've gone too far. But they're like, no, we haven't. Then we have all the daughters of Wolverine. Now we've gone too far. And you're just like, oh man. Just like, yeah, I don't know.
All right. So Free Comic says, I'd love to get in contact with your agent for the Blade. He's my second favorite character.
Yeah.
Your Blade Snap is wickedly awesome, by far the best Blade variant of them all.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, just email me at jonboy@jonboymeyers.com or on social channels, or we're actually revamping my website right now, so we'll probably put that up as probably sometime in March or April. We'll put those three up on the site, and people can go buy them if they want. So, because like I think the reason why we reached out to you guys because you guys emailed us first, so we're like, well. My agent's
I think I started messaging you, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. You and a few others.
Yeah.
And
so like I feel like, well, I think I mentioned like, hey, I'll just give you first crack at these. This is what we've got, like whatever you want. Like because she's like, well, do you just want to put it on the site or do you want to offer them to fans? It's like, well, they were kind of asking. I told them I would just do that. She goes, well, why don't you go ahead and do that? If they want to buy it, then cool. She goes, look, the prices are fixed. And I'm like, okay. She goes, well, she's like, if you want to give them a break on it, you can, but that comes out of your cut. So I was like, oh, all right.
Well, don't do that. You're the one who drew it.
No, it's fine. I think the thing about fandom is it's kind of nice to have things that you can connect with, something that you're passionate about. And the thing about original art too is it's like they are like stocks. They will continue to go up because stuff I bought pre-COVID, post-COVID now, those things would probably be 3 times as much. So it's original art is no joke. If you go to places like Comic Link or Heritage, like look at what like Bear Windsor-Smith Weapon X pages went for like, one cover went for like I think $250,000. So and that same thing sold for like maybe $20,000 in the 90s. So you're talking about,
look, I think that I actually think the Marvel Snap is positioned to kind of be like what Marvel cards were to me as a kid.
Yeah.
I'll just make sure, refresh like 90s Marvel cards, right?
Yeah.
Which I love, and many people that are watching here and Manu, we loved them growing up, and they did so much to just influence our fascination with Marvel characters and storylines, and then what eventually turned into, reading comic books, or maybe we're reading comic books and discovering Marvel cards. And now it's a huge IP. as it relates to the movies and stuff. And it's, you look at this generation, the younger generation is like, what's going to be that nostalgic thing that attracted them, that brought them into it? Obviously they have the movies and the Disney Plus shows, but it seems like Marvel Snap, might touch more people than, especially Marvel cards. I don't know if you've tried to buy a modern Marvel card lately.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. It's expensive. It's hard to find.
Oh,
you
like
can't go into Walmart.
As kids?
Yeah, you can't go in a store and buy them.
I would always go to like flea markets or secondhand stores, or even
to get the overprinted 90s stuff. Yes, I'm talking about the new releases that come out now. Like, are you aware of sets that are actively coming out?
I think the only stuff that I was aware of is thanks, Free Comics. Is the like Upper Deck stuff. They do a lot of Marvel stuff, and I still have a lot of those sketch card blanks too. So maybe I need to dust that off.
Oh, okay. So. Yep. Nope. Count me in for a commission.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. They're just they're small cards, man. It's just you just do a headshot.
They're not 11 by 17.
No, they're not. Like people have told me like, well, you could tape them all together on the back and then draw one big image. And I'm like,
still a lot of work.
Yeah, but then what do I do? Split all the cards? Like, okay, well, who wants to buy a card? It's like, well, I got a foot. Like,
well,
who wants to be like stuck with a foot, man?
Just imagine you were drawing a really big picture, and then there was like Spider-Man was in the background, so he needed to be drawn a little smaller.
Yeah,
and then there we'd have it.
I would probably do something where it's like 4 cards and that form one image, where it's one big image, and then people can buy it that way and they can frame it that way. That would be kind of cool. Or I could do individual cards. I think I could probably make more money over the long run doing individual cards, but it's just like they're so small that I'd probably just do a headshot or a medium shot or a quarter shot or something.
I think one thing to do is like, you could price like, here's a profile, just a profile price, and then if you want something more detailed, it's another price.
Yeah. You always get these.
What
like,
are the
really
sketch card blanks for?
Yeah. What's that?
Well, when I was doing for Upper Deck, so the Upper Deck, like I think this was. Oh man, 2000 on.
Wait, you did sketch cards for Upper Deck?
Yeah, I did cards for Upper Deck. Oh yeah, and then custom cards for Upper Deck too.
How many did you turn in?
Oh god, man, I don't know. Like 20, 30 maybe. I did a lot of stuff for our Hearthstone, the trading card game too. I must have done like 40 or 50 card images. So if you Google Jonboy Meyers like Hearthstone cards, you'll probably see a bunch of stuff come up. But I mean, like yeah, that was a long time ago, man. Like, I still have some of those cards, and they gave us unique artist proof cards where the backs of those are blank. So I could do a sketch on those. It has the main image in the front, and the backs don't have the logo on it. It's just blank. You can just do that. But then the Upper Deck ones, like we got paid like I think it was like $1 a card to do a sketch card for them. So I did like 50.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's not much more today. So just
yeah, man, it's a total ripoff, dude.
Wait, so what's the benefit of doing it? Is it just
promotion? Well, they give you how many ever cards you get that you do for $1, they'll give you a blank artist proof in return. So you
sell that independently on your own.
But you're working twice as hard. I keep trying to tell people like, but I'm working really hard on your card for $1. Then you give me a bunch of blanks, and I'm like, okay, for me now, I'm just like, I don't even want to draw anymore because I did like so it's like
why is there additional value placed on the blank just because the back of it said it belongs to some card set? You can make original art whenever you want. You're the artist. You can sell whatever you want.
Correct. But here's the thing. So when people are buying things and it's branded like sketch card and it's a certain format, it has all the little bells and whistles and all the templates and the logos on it and all that stuff. That's what people really want. They want a custom card associated to that set. So they're called AP cards, artist proof cards. So like, I get it. It's just like, cause like, well, hey, I can do a bigger one for you on a sketch cover for like, same price.
Yeah.
You do one on this tiny card and I'll charge you like 300 because I don't want that tiny, but okay. It's like, but they want it on that. So it's like, okay. But I've got like, I think 150 of those floating around somewhere, so I gotta.
Okay, we're gonna have to continue this conversation.
You need another agent for that, right? Like I'm joking.
And here, just me being like straight up. If you don't want to sketch them, like I know people that would want to buy the blanks.
Oh, I know. People like sometimes like I'll give you $100 per blank, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh man, come on, because I know how much he turns around and flips those for too. So I was just
Oh,
like,
you got somebody that's already reaching out to you?
oh, I've had plenty of people reach out all the time. They haven't done it in like maybe 5 years because every time I was just no. It's usually I think it was the same guy actually. So um,
Yeah, I could probably name them. I'm
yeah,
not going to.
yeah, like it's probably the same guy, but
Yeah.
he brokers and all that stuff because he has like a sketch card forum thing that he posts stuff and he sells blanks off of, and
Mhm.
so I'm just like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't need that. It's like,
Yeah, but people who are master collecting, they like to not only get a sketch from every artist, and if they can't get one pack pulled from the artist, they'll get a commission from it.
right.
And then they also like to have a blank in the master
Mm,
set as well.
that makes
You
sense.
can see that.
The untouched, the virgin.
Yeah, well, it's just a version of every type of,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
there's a bit of OCD that can show up in collecting, right? And it's
Well,
got to be complete, whatever that means to that
yeah.
person.
I get that though. I'm kind of like that too, because like there's certain artists that I'm like I told you, I was a little kid riding my bike everywhere like a madman, trying to like collect GI Joe because I had like a gap in my like
Uh-huh.
collection and I didn't know what was happening next month. And I went to the place where I bought them, they didn't have them. Like, oh, we didn't get any in today or this week. I was like, for a kid, like,
Mhm.
collect comics and you're serious about like what happened to Serpentor, like what's going on. I was like, what was the new character? You kind of want to know, you kind of. But that's the thing about fandom is like, I'm sure my story is no different because, I used to like hunt the quarter bins as a kid. I would mow lawn,
Mhm.
do all that stuff, and go to flea markets and hunt quarter bins and.
So does that mean you have like a favorite character or favorite IP that you collect? I mean, you said GI Joe, but in the
Yeah,
Marvel space?
Marvel wise, like I love Wolverine, I love Captain America.
Mhm.
I think I don't really hate any particular character. I mean,
Mhm.
I hate certain things that the companies do to like water down a character like the Wolverine stuff we're talking about. But
Right.
X-23 Laura Kinney is a great character and she is completely unique. She doesn't have to call herself Wolverine, which is kind of dumb.
Mhm.
But you know, um, I'm a firm believer in making characters. Like,
Mhm.
whatever their backstory is, they don't have to hijack another character's name. It could just be their own unique thing and make that cool instead of just,
Mhm.
you know.
I
Um,
hear you there for sure.
but I get it because like there are kids are impressionable too, and I think if a little girl wants to be Wolverine, then that's attainable for her there. So
Mhm.
I get that. Like I do understand. I just wish his characters were a little bit more unique. It just seems
Mhm.
like everything's kind of a copy of a copy. Just like Hollywood is very sequel crazy right now.
Mhm.
In comics, they're just giving you another version of the same character. It's just a gender swap or whatever. And it doesn't always have to be like that. Just make cool characters who are unique. Like you don't have
Mhm.
to like like not every character has to call themselves like Captain Marvel. There's like
Mhm.
three Captain Marvels
I think there's
or
more than
four
3.
or
Goodness
five, right?
gracious. Yeah.
It's like
There's quite a few.
it's not really you're not really unique. They're like, oh, I'm a Captain Marvel. You're like, I met like four of the guys who were like that, so like I don't care. Like
Yeah. It can't be a mantle every time that's passed on, but it does seem that that's what's happening.
yeah,
And
yeah. It kind of loses its importance when you do that.
Mhm.
I think in
Mhm.
comics because like I'm a big believer in like when things die in comics, they should stay dead. That's it.
Oh, that's never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen
Yeah.
because like they broke the one thing they said they'd never do is bring Bucky back. I love the Winter Soldier. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, like all right,
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that.
yeah.
Yeah, Bucky stayed dead for how many years?
Oh man, for 30. Well, let's see. Bucky died in.
I
Well,
mean,
they alluded to Bucky dying in the Invaders,
right.
which is in the 70s, 80s, early 80s. So
Gosh, it's been
at
a
least
minute.
30, 40 years, maybe
Yeah.
35. So
No, they did a really good job bringing him back. It's an incredible story.
yeah,
I
great
mean,
story. Like,
and
you
but
know,
once Bucky came back, anybody can come back.
right. Colossus came back. Wolverine died multiple times and came back. Like
Yeah.
all the X-Men now are dying and regenerated. So to me, it's just like, who cares about that book? There's no stakes in that book when you do
you,
when a character does
you
that.
know where they first did it? It was for me as a kid. Here you have Morph. He dies in X-Men the animated
Yeah.
series,
Yep.
episode 1.
Yep.
And then they bring him back, I think, in like season 4 with Mr. Sinister. I was like, oh,
Right.
You
The
didn't
whole
stay dead.
cloning thing, it's kind of a cop out. You're just like, oh man, like, how would you like to be a clone? Like, you wake up, you're like, oh, you originally died, now you're a clone. You're just like,
I could use a clone though,
I'm like,
honestly.
what's my purpose? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's kind of, you got to find more meaning for characters, because I think narratives are important. This is why I like this. I think that's why Snap is so like resonates with people. It gives them a chance to use the characters they love, right?
Mhm.
Try to figure out a strategic way to use those characters that they love in order to win games, because you can win with the crappiest cards if you play them right. It's
Yeah.
my understanding. So
No, yeah. I actually have a deck right now where I deliberately didn't put a card that has a power energy cost above 3, with 6 being the highest. And I'm still winning because it's how you play them. It's not necessarily having the most powerful cards that you play.
Yeah.
You know, when
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just saying the storylines, if the likelihood that someone could die and not come back, that reduces the drama, the stakes that are at play. You're like, well, there's no real stakes at play.
Yeah, like
They can just come right back.
that's what bothers me, because like I think Derpa Dew was talking about like there's always a new number one, and he's kind of like, yeah, I don't like that either. I think the thing about it is every 10 years they should just make it a rule to reboot. But during that 10 years, these characters can arc, and there should be a cost to being Batman. There should be a cost to being Superman. You know, you lose loved ones, they die, they don't come back until that 10-year thing is done. Like, you know, Batman is, you know, he's got a robot arm or he's got a cybernetic eye. There should be costs to being heroes.
Yeah.
There should be things that ramifications felt, real things. But, you know, I mean, I get it. You know, it doesn't help for sales or branding. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
that's the narrative person in me, though. Like, you know, we like to see the cost. Like, if you're watching Last of Us, that episode 5 is just like everything they went through. And then towards the end of that, for spoilers, if you haven't seen it, they lose the very things that they were fighting for in that first place, one of the characters. And once that's gone, it was just like, I gave up everything for this, and now that happened, and now that's it. You know, and it's, but that's the cost of living in this world. There's consequences, there's repercussions. It should be, makes you know, if you know Batman can actually die, or Batman gets his arm chopped off saving the world, you're like, wow, you know what? Hey, Batman, give the ultimate price. Like, oh, him, like, yeah, all right.
So, Jonboy, how did you, like, with this kind of view of writing and styles, how did you bring this into, say, like Spawn, where you know Spawn has a pretty established history and story, and I think Al Simmons still Spawn at that point in time?
So Al had killed himself.
Yeah.
And everyone thought he died. And actually what happened is he got imprisoned into his own private hell, his own purgatory. He was kind of punishing himself because of everything that he had done wrong in his life. And he was just kind of like nailed himself to the cross, and he just wanted to hang there and just for all eternity and just suffer, like, because he's just like, you know, I've caused so much, I'm just tired of it. And the character was taken over by Jim Downing. So when we brought Al back, we Paul Jenks and I really wanted to do something unique, and we wanted to say, hey, look, you know, when he comes back, he has infinite power.
No more of this scale is running out. He's going to go on empty.
I think the power scale's back, but we said, look, he's powerful.
Plasma scale or something?
Yeah, something like that. But he didn't have the scale. He had power. It wasn't like godlike power, but he was powerful, and he wasn't burnt up anymore. He was mortal. He could die. He could get hurt again. And the idea was this, again, was that thing where we wanted to take him through the paces, and there was a cost to being Spawn. Like, you missing an eye. I wanted to give him a demon arm. I wanted him to get his arm chopped off, and his symbiote makes him this demon arm. And it's like, it would have been really cool, like demon arm Spawn. I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Do that. It
would have been so cool, but you know, like, you know,
so do that. So. I just heard you say something, and I have not read that part of the run. In my season of life, I was raising kids.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's in comics. You bop in and bop out, man.
Yeah. But you were saying that like the suit was separate of Spawn, like they were not.
So during our run, we established that the suit is sentient, but the suit is actually made up of all the souls of the innocent people he killed during his life.
Oh wow! So it's not a nice suit.
No. So that's what was haunting him, but that's what gives him power. But it's also his penance. It's helping him atone for. The idea is the suit is trying to help him atone for his sins. He needs to do better. He needs to be better. Like all the crappy things you've done in the world to people, you killed them, you maimed them, like their souls are now bound to you because you were bound to hell.
Yeah.
So all those people, you're going to carry them with you your entire life. That's part
how does working on that heavy, wicked, painful type of story affect your like personal, mindset and thought process throughout the week, like in your own world? Like, how does it?
Well, I think for those things, it's really great to do stories of flawed characters and characters who aren't perfect and characters who are learning to do the right thing, who are once huge tools and now they're trying to turn it around and do something better, and those things are always interesting stories because in those stories we can always project or see a part of ourselves within those stories.
Mhm.
Like we've done wrong and we want to atone for it, and this guy is kind of taking it to the nth level. He was an instrument of the government and they just used him to kill people, and
Yeah.
he didn't care which way.
I think I don't know if I read it somewhere or
Right.
what, but the thought for me for Spawn is like he's walking on a razor blade, and if he leans to the right, he gets cut. If he leans to the left, he gets cut. Because to save the people he loves, he has to kill bad people. But if he kills bad people, he sends them to hell to further their army. And he doesn't, it's like anything he does good ends up being bad.
Yeah, the thing about it is though, is like when we took over that, we shut all those portals. So there's whatever was trapped there was trapped there.
Mhm.
And that's what Todd, we're trying to tell Todd, like, hey, Spawn's purpose now is to hunt all the stuff that's left because the angels and demons were influencing man, and God was always about free will. So Spawn's purpose on, like in our run, was to clear out all the demons out of the world, all the undue influence, and let man decide its own fate, what it chooses to follow or not do. It was more of that type of thing. Where Spawn, that was his purpose, was to let people decide their own fates, free of demonic influences or angelic influences. It's more about people deciding for themselves what is best for them. Because yeah.
So Dave has a question. How much plot
sure.
story did Todd have in and out on your run?
So I think the thing you need to understand about Spawn is Todd is Spawn. So, and the things that we discovered during when we're doing these stories was like sometimes Todd was like, I don't really like that. And we're like, well, why? He goes, well, I wouldn't do that. I said, well, yeah, but it's Spawn. Spawn's doing that. But he's like, yeah, but I'm Spawn. Like Spawn is my lens through the world. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, fascinating
So,
that he holds him that close.
Yeah, because like that is his external persona of how he perceives the world and how he would exact justice on people who do bad things or do whatever. It's kind of like it's kind of like Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster. It's like a golem, right?
Yeah.
It's like a thought projection that is an extension of you that can do everything that you wish you could do, but can't. You do it in narrative. You want to.
It's his Hyde or his Jekyll.
I think it's his extreme moral center, because early Spawn was pretty hardcore, and when we were working on it, like it was more of like accepting his moralness, like that life is precious and people should make their own decisions and not be influenced by these other things, because life is hard enough. And this is what happens when you're influenced by other things. You become Spawn and you're just kind of like, okay, well, great. Now, but we tore that away from, like, he was no longer serving the devil or anything like that, that his suit was the thing that kind of gave him his power. I don't know what Todd's done with it since, because I collect it, but I collect it for the art. I don't really read it so much. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about narratives. Those narratives can change with the teams. It's just like Batman or any other, they're reflections of our times and reflections of the people writing them. So we're creating those stories. So I think it's just, I don't know. I wish I would like to one day go back, because I always had this like idea of like doing like Spawn 3000, where it's Spawn in the year 3000 and still but there's a cost to being Spawn, and the idea was that he actually travels back and tries to like undo all the stuff that went wrong in his life to try to like not be Spawn at all.
Yeah, like to stop it.
to stop it. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
hey, to try to talk to young Al Simmons, like, hey, like maybe not do that. Don't be a jerk. I don't know.
So, question for you: What are you actively working on? And if you can speak about it, maybe you can. But what are you actively working on now?
I am trying to work on a Ubisoft thing for Assassin's Creed. So I'm writing and drawing that. So I've been hammering away on that. So and then I'm working on creating a project called Princess Dragon Killer, which I'm also working on. And I'm working on another sketchbook too. So I'm going to put that out in crowdfunding. Hopefully next.
Whoa, what do you mean by sketchbook? Explain what you mean there.
Oh, like a sketchbook, like a book of drawings of my art collected in one volume that you can buy.
Okay.
I'm going to put some snap art in there. So it's like, hey, snap art in there. Like,
so I'll have to have it. I have to go. Anything that's attached to this rug, I'm going to have it. So.
It's going to be called Volume 1, probably in August. So,
and this will be a mix of properties, right?
Yeah, it'll be like 100 plus pages. 25 pages of it will be like video game stuff.
Yeah.
25 will be DC. 25 will be Marvel, and then the other 25 will probably be like miscellaneous stuff, like sketches and character designs.
Is your website like the best place to keep up with that? Or
website, or like my website's www.jonboymeyers.com. We're working on it right now, so there's nothing for sale on the site. It's just regular old busted site. So we're
right, but it's got good examples of your work on there.
Yeah, like I got kind of lazy, so I just stopped updating and just updated the store because it's just like, I've got an Instagram page now, I've got art, I have ArtStation, I have Facebook, there's so many things. They're just like, now I got to upload stuff to my archaic WordPress site. I was like, drag that.
Yeah, that's not the fun part.
Oh no. So we're in the process of revamping it. So my gallery will be linked to my Instagram site. So whatever image is up there, you can see the latest and greatest, and I don't have to work as hard, which is great. I can just draw. So that's what I'm actively trying to not do outside work. I'm not I think I stopped at like 25 cards at Snap. I haven't done Snap cards in I think it's been a full year now. So
is it like a one-day project to do one of these cards, or
is it God, no, I wish.
A week? No. Like what give me an idea of what that's like.
It's a whole thing. Like when we were doing it, we were the first wave. So things are going pretty good in the beginning, like working with Snap directly and doing card images and trying to figure it out. And then Marvel got involved. So we would get edits from Second Dinner, and then we'd do those, and then we'd get a whole bunch of other edits from Marvel. It was really annoying. It's just like
they got to some really cool artists like early. Yeah, I was really impressed with the list of artists that they.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about it is, for me, it kind of put the FU in fun, to be honest with you, because things that I wanted to do, there's descriptions on the cards and mandates, and for me, it's just like, man, I could do a really cool shot of like there's a card, the Falcon card, that I did. My original sketch was Falcon doing something really cool coming at you, because with parallax it would look great. And they're like, well, we want Red Wing in there. Red Wing has to be in there, and I'm just like. And we want to see more of the wings, so it's like, okay.
Is there a way to give those instructions before you start drawing? Like that would be nice.
Yeah, you would think so, right? And sometimes they don't know until they see it, which I get, right? So, so I did the card, I put Red Wing in it, and now the card is on there, but there's no Red Wing.
And you're kidding.
No, man. It's just like, so it's kind of like stuff like that where you're getting paid a really great rate to do that, but the thing about it is like, at some point with an artist, you want to drive the final product, and if you keep going back and making changes and tweaks, or you're getting these edits that feel just like, they're kind of like micromanaging you a little bit. For me, I don't really operate well. You're not going to get the best out of me, so I just kind of like, hey guys, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm out. Thank you, this is great, but I'm kind of done. I don't want to do it anymore. Because
we have a question about your process. When you start drawing, do you have a clear idea of what it's going to look? Or does it evolve as you lay down the lines?
The thing about it is usually working on stuff like this IP stuff, it's like working on a bag of Doritos. Like there's a whole team of people telling you what they want it to look like. They'll give you very detailed descriptions of what they want. and they're kind of defining that bullseye for you. So you're not shooting arrows in the dark, but at the same time,
So when you get the description for Rogue, where they're like, "Hey, can you do a Jim Lee X-Men Rogue with a hint of J. Scott Campbell?" With like, are they giving me like those kind of?
No, they just said 90s Rogue. That was one of the first cards I did, so it was a lot of fun. Like you could do whatever you want. This is great. I'm like,
90s Rogue. That's a perfect description.
Yeah, like all those first 10 were ones that I really enjoyed doing because there was like putting someone put their thumb on me. So those turned out great. Some of the other ones just did not because they're very specific as far as action what they want. You've got this very small image space and you're trying to make everything work within that image space. You have the power bars on each side. You have the title header on the bottom. It kind of limits you sometimes. You're kind of doing a lot of sketches and beating your head against the wall a little bit. So it can be a little frustrating. So there's that frustration sometimes. But then working with the descriptions and trying to make everybody happy with the things that you're doing, it can be very frustrating. It can be a time suck. Like usually one card could take up I think one card took me like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, there's notes, there's this. So, it's that's the thing about it is like at some point you have to figure out your cost per card as far as time. And for me, it's like, these are financial losers for me because I could just do a cover and just like, I get done in like 3 or 4 days, maybe a week tops, and off to another one, and you have to kind of weigh that, So, because when you get busy, when you're very busy, the last thing you want to do is drop. You have to drop everything because they want a face patch on the card, or they're just not happy with it, or it's just not working, and you want to do other stuff. So, and rather than be an impediment to them, like it's just better for me. Just like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is probably where we park. It's just like,
Yeah. Another question for you. Do you sketch out a rough idea on paper and then start to work on digital? And or is digital kind of a place that you're living a lot nowadays?
No, I do traditional and then I scan into digital. Sometimes for the card art, everything starts out as a digital sketch because you have to get it has to be approved first. Like the rough has to be approved. It has to be like pretty close to like, hey, this is what it's going to look like. So they know exactly how they're going to parallax it, what type of effects they want to put in. Because there's like those first few cards we did, like they didn't know how they were going to set up the digital effects or the parallax. And they had somewhat of an idea, but they just weren't sure the process. So once I figured it out, I think this is when like the asks got very specific. And it became really like working on a box of our box of cereal or Doritos bag because it's like it's got to be like this. We want something like that. I think Sunspot. I think for me it was drove me nuts was like the Sunspot card, and I had a lot of fun drawing that card. The card could have been a lot cooler. And the final card art, they edited a lot of the final card art, which is, but the idea is though, like, I originally had him breaking through a brick wall where his hands coming at you. The bricks are flying. It would have looked great parallax, right? And they're like, well, we don't want that. We want him flying and we want a soccer stadium in the background. And I'm just like, what? Like, is it because he's Brazilian? You want to put a soccer like stadium? I was like, that is
they're known for soccer, so
that's the funniest guy I've ever heard in my life. So I was like, oh, you want? I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, you're sacrificing a cool visual for you want a soccer stadium, but I think maybe that was a Marvel ask. So you just kind of like you'll have you reach out to Tim Zhang, and Tim will probably tell you some of the things that go on. And I'm not privy to those conversations. If I were, I'd be like, you're all on crack. I'm not doing a soccer stadium.
How do you say Tim's last name?
Zhang.
Yeah, I've reached out to him, but he hasn't responded.
Well, he might not. Like those guys are pretty busy. So but Tim's a very talented guy, very talented artist. He's done a couple cards. I think he did the Spider-Man card. So
and he's working on some video game stuff now, I believe.
Oh, well, he works on. I think he works for Marvel. I think.
Yeah, for Marvel, right?
Yeah. So I mean, they all do all that stuff in house. So, yeah.
Cody has a question.
Sure.
Is there a modern comic writer that you would love to work with?
I'd love to work with Paul Jenkins again. We had such a blast on Spawn, and he's such a collaborative guy. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just want to work with people who like to collaborate. I don't like it where like the writer treats artists like disposable power tools. Like, hey, I don't want to talk narrative with you. You do what I tell you to do, kind of thing. I'm not that kind of guy that operates like that.
Oh
I'm
wow.
more like, we're a team. Let's do this together. And for me, if I can't get into what we're doing together, I'm not going to do the project because it's not. You're not going to get the best out of me as a creator because it's just not. Like I want to be engaged with what I'm doing and doing something that I feel is unique for the character. Because I approach this also not just from an artist but as a fan, and I want to add something to that narrative. I just don't want to do the same crap. It's like it's
The image is part of the storytelling. Like
well,
it's
it
not
is.
just, I'd read a novel otherwise.
Yeah, it's kind of like McFarlane working with David Michelin on an Amazing Spider-Man was unique. They collaborated, they butted heads a little bit, but they collaborated. They created some great, compelling stuff, man. Versus like when you're like being told what to do, it's just kind of like a check. It's like for me, I don't like taking those jobs because I don't like being checked out on the work I deliver. Because I know what I'm capable of. I'm delivering something far less. It's like, dude, I just don't want to do it. It's like, look, this is not.
Respect that.
Yeah, man. Do stuff you're proud of,
Jonboy, this is from our friend
Oh,
Shay.
hey, right
Says
on.
I'm the person who bought the Venom snap art from you. I received it today, and I
nice.
absolutely love it.
Hey, cool. Thank you, man. Right on. I made it there in one piece. Hopefully you were happy with your purchase. Thank you. So, see, all three are gone now. Now we can open up the next block.
Yeah, we paid the way for everybody else. If you
Right.
buy the Scarlet, I'm going to be sad, but I understand.
Well, I think we're going to open up that Scarlet Witch to the guys who originally asked. So I think it's you and two other folks. So we'll just put you guys on a mass email and BCC all you guys and like, hey,
hey, who wants it first gets it.
Who wants it? Fight club for it. Whatever you guys want to do. Just let us.
They don't want me fighting.
So. You know what I mean, like just
no, I'm just kidding.
Serve or whatever. Like for me, it's like if people are asking, that means like okay, well, cool. Like if you want to buy it, like cool, here you go. Like,
what's your favorite of your Marvel Snap art that you've done, whether you did it physical or digital?
I think all the ones I did traditionally are ones I'm actually pretty proud of. I love Sabretooth is probably my favorite because. I love that character.
Yeah, I know who got that one.
I love Wolverine. Yeah, that was the first card that got sold. So but I love that card so much, and it was like, oh yeah, let's do that. And there's
put in perspective for everybody. Sabretooth sold before Rogue and Venom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That went. But the guy was like an X-Men fan, and he already had a Rogue card that he bought from somebody else. So
yeah, I know which Rogue he had. He has a really nice 90s original art Rogue.
Is it nice?
Is the one he has nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for a Marvel card fan, like it's just seared into the brain as a kid. I don't want to give away somebody else's private collection, but yeah, it's really nice.
Cool. No, I was just asked. I was curious because he mentioned it. I was like, oh, which card art do you have? Because I know they did multiples of a lot, like for unique cards. So but I don't play the game really. And
it was original art that was created just for Marvel cards in the 90s.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's 30 years old.
So that thing's super unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yours is unique too because it's one of a kind because it's
so I actually think that's why I love this one because I actually think it has it's not even the right context for it because this is Marvel Snap is new. It hasn't been around. Right. Marvel cards were not new when at that point in time, but it's I just think it's a really unique opportunity, especially if Second Games morphs this into a physical trading card set at some point, whether it's a TCG playing card or whether we get an upper deck version, which I would love to have an upper deck version of this card, of Marvel Snap cards. That's when I think it can be really
I don't think that'll happen, but I think you might see these unique cards become comic book covers at some point. It would not surprise me because when we did these, when we were talking with Jamaro, I was saying like, the bar should be a lot higher because we were talking about past Marvel games and some of the art on cards. He's like, everything should feel like a cover. I was like, exactly. Everything should feel like a cover. And it kind of does when you look at, I think some of the newer art that's being made is not as good. but
Mhm.
I think a lot of the early stuff probably the first 2 years of people contributing, a lot of those images are just really solid by everybody who's contributing. The painted ones especially. I feel
Yeah.
bad for the painted guys because they have to do digital patches, and it's just like, oh man.
So Ryan Kinnear, am I saying that correctly?
Kinnear, Ryan Kinnear, yeah,
Kinnear?
Kinnear, Ryan Kinnear,
Kinnear.
yeah.
Ryan Kinnear. That's who did the
Yeah, like Ryan, I brought him in, and he's the one who almost does almost every. He created the whole color key for all the unique cards
Mhm.
in that whole game. So Ryan did like an amazing Herculean feat when he did that, because almost every unique card in the first 2 years he colored. So just about. Now everyone's kind of aping him now, which is kind of weird. So
You said everyone's what?
kind of aping his color style on that game a little bit, which is
I
really.
would tell you, I feel like I've seen his name pop up a lot, and maybe it's just because Marvel Snap has been at a peripheral for me, but he does a lot of other stuff too, doesn't
Oh yeah, well, he's a talented writer and artist and does comics, and like he's an amazing artist. Like if you look at his body of work, he's done anime stuff. There's a lot of Street Fighter stuff. He does a lot of pretty stuff. He's worked. We have similar pedigrees. I mean, I've known Ryan for like, oh man, since
Mhm.
maybe 1990. So
Yeah.
30 some odd
Wow,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, long time, man. So
I got a few more questions for you.
Sure.
I've meant to ask you during the process of buying this, but
Yeah.
is there any preliminary art of this?
No, it's all digital. Like for that,
All your preliminary is
they
digital.
had to be. They were all digital for a simple fact they had to get approvals on it. So
Got you.
yeah, it's like for me, I wanted to avoid doing any patches. So I was
Yeah.
like, hey, look, is this good to go? Because like they're like, yes. So what I did was finished it, scanned it in, then cut it up a little bit. So there's certain elements that I cut out that can actually move, like the belt. I cut out the belt and then digitally inked underneath it, did some other things. So when she's flying and they want to do stuff where she's moving, they can actually move the belt a little bit and do all if they wanted to do that. But like I said, we were still trying to figure all that out. Like in the Venom card, like the arm is going at you, like say the arm is going at you. There's all kinds of cool elements going on. I just kind of want to give them some options as far as like, well, what do you guys want to do? Like as far as parallaxing, because I think they could have done a lot more. So, but like,
do you have like a favorite version of Spider-Man that you've done?
I haven't done any for the game, but oh, thanks, Spidey. There you go. No, you know what? Like my first Marvel work was working on Marvel Spider-Man. So, Greg Horn made cards out of his artwork.
No, it's what Keith said. Keith said you should have told him, yes, there's a preliminary, and then just scribbled something on paper. Justin would have thrown some money at you.
No, I couldn't do that. That's kind of like, yeah, like if I do roughs like that, actually I include it with the piece because I'm a completist. And the fact that if you found out that there was a rough that I didn't sell to you or give to you along with that piece, and someone else had it, you're just like,
you know what I would love is for this version of Rogue on one of those blank sketch cards.
Yeah, that's gonna be really super tiny. That would be like 0.003 pen. You kill me, man.
Alberto says Greg Horn made cards out of his artwork, comic covers. Would you consider doing something similar?
So Greg is not technically allowed to do that. He shouldn't be doing that. But so there's a rule for stuff like this.
I like Greg more now. I didn't.
No,
he's got a little bit of a maverick.
Greg's gonna get sued if Greg's not careful. Like
this is hilarious. I'm so happy this has happened this evening.
He's playing with fire, man. Like here's the thing. So when you do individual images, what I've been told is you can keep it boutique. You're not supposed to do a wall of prints. You're not supposed to do anything like that. Like you can do, like up to 20 different prints, 20 by 20. So 20 different images, 20 prints a piece per show. That's it. That's all you can do.
Jonboy, I've heard some of this from some other artists, like big time artists, where they've started negotiating the ability to own the rights to their prints in exchange for, like, you know,
there are
original art.
licensing fees, but then
Yeah.
those are guys like, those are guys like Campbell. They're only offering that to us, which is really shitty because they're only
Yeah.
offering it to a handful of other artists. I've already talked to them about doing it, and it's like it's free money to them, but I don't know why they don't want to do it. So it's like, all right, well, you know, fine,
Yeah.
I'll keep doing what I've
So
been doing, but
what's like the ownership of that rogue? I mean, I'm going to sound foolish because I'm just learning these things now,
no,
but that rogue image that Justin now owns the original of, and you're the creator of the
right,
image, but obviously Rogue belongs to Marvel in terms of
right,
like a character.
right.
So who owns the rights to that visual? Is that still
He
owned
does
by
now. I owned it. Like
who does?
I gave them the rights to print it. They own that's their character, right? That final card art. But I have the rights to the original because I'm the creator of the original, so I can turn and sell that original art. So,
But Justin can't use that art and make T-shirts because the character is still
oh
owned
no,
by
yeah,
Marvel.
you would get totally sued if they found out.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Technically, you're not even supposed to put it on a business card, but they usually turn
Wow.
a blind eye to that.
Sure.
If you're saying Rogue Comics and that's your mascot for your store, they're like, yeah, okay, you're a comic guy, you buy comics, okay, all right, we'll
Yeah.
let that go.
Yeah.
But if you start making T-shirts of Rogue Comics with Rogue on it, and you're doing prints of Rogue with Rogue Comics, and you're selling it, then you're like, look, you're kind of licensing it, you can't do that. Like, you got to license it. So, but it's sticky because like it's such a new thing, and like you know, artists should be able to license their own work. You know, like Marvel will get a cut, everyone's happy. Like, what's the problem? But you know, I mean, it takes man hours to do that, and there's lawyers involved, there's contracts, there's things like that. So I get it, but you're basically telling me that you don't want me to draw your characters, and okay, fine, then I'll just go license it from somebody else and do it that way, you know, instead. You know, I won't, you know, so.
But you can do the book that you referred to earlier.
Oh yeah,
How's that?
so the sketchbook is a collected volume of my works that's featured. So the thing is, it's the 1/4 rule. So technically, if you're only including 25 pages out of a 100-page book or whatever or even 20 pages of an IP that's owned by somebody else, but you worked on that, but you're showcasing with other work you've done for other people, that's kind of a marketing tool. It's different. It's like, I'm not leveraging the Marvel brand. This is the work
Yes,
that I
this
did.
is not only being purchased because somebody wants something Marvel.
Right, correct.
That makes sense. A 1/4 rule.
So
Okay.
usually we have to submit things like Marvel and DC to get eyeballs on it, make sure they're happy with it. So it's like, you know, and they're
Just to be
always,
kosher. Yeah.
yeah, just to be professional and be cool about it. I think you should. Like, I think the things that they get a little hinky about is when you put their characters on your sketchbook cover for mass market. Like, that gets a little like, maybe you shouldn't do that because you are trading off the brand at that point. You know, it's like, you don't do that. Like, I think things that Greg are doing, personally, in my opinion, like, he's really playing with fire because like he's got like thousands of prints of like a Spider-Man cover he did, and he's like, it's big, and it's like, I'm like, dude, like,
He's just testing the limits on.
no, he's gonna ruin it for everybody. That's the thing, and it's just like, you know, I get it that that's his thing, but you know, I mean, I'm not aware that he's licensing anything. You know,
well, he's not. I mean, he has his own Greg Horn logo. There's no Marvel, no Upper Deck. You know.
Yeah, but you can't put trademark Greg Horn on a Spider-Man piece that was a cover that you did 5 years ago and turn around.
So are we touching on, you know, just because of some the comments here, are we touching on something that's like routinely talked about amongst artists and creators in the profession?
Like, I think there's things about that you like, look, they kind of are okay with what I've been told is 20 of 20, like per show. That's all you can bring. That's all you can sell. That's it. And that's keeping it like Redbubble. That's boutique. We're here one day, we're gone. Done.
Redbubble?
Like Redbubble. Like when they do T-shirts and there's a trademark character on it. Hey, we're only doing 50 of these. Whoever wants them, that's it. Done. Okay, move on. Right.
Not made to order. Not sell as many as you can.
No, yeah. Well, we're not printing up like hundreds of thousands of these. It's just a one-time offering, and you're kind of doing that, and it's kind of a fandom thing. It's where you're mass marketing things, like you're talking like printing up 1,000 of them, and you're not paying a licensing fee, and like that's where it gets sticky, because then you're forcing an IP holder to really stick it to everybody at that point. So one guy kind of being a jerk off doing it is quite possibly ruining it for everybody else. It's like, look, just be respectful, man. Like, dude, like, you're a talented artist, make your own shit, man. You don't have to do that. So. But,
someone asked earlier in the chat if you had ever created your own artist. We didn't ask that question, right? I mean, your own character.
Yeah, I'm actually working on a creator called Princess Dragon Killer. I'm working on it right now.
You did say that. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory? Or is it your? Yeah, we don't want to ruin it. Yeah, I get that.
Not yet, because I'm gonna print it and sell it. More than 20 of them. I'm just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just have to interject. There's a couple of things I was holding in. I'm learning, so I'm observing.
Yeah,
so
feel free to ask,
things.
Yeah.
No, just fun stuff. Like you said, someone put the FU in fun. I never heard that, so I just wanted to say that's awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
It's really, those are the kind of things that I'm just like, oh, I want to say something about that, because there's some creative, talking, fun stuff. But I'll let you guys carry on because I'm learning a lot, and this whole thing about Greg Horn is really entertaining.
Look, Greg is super talented. I don't know why. Like, if he's licensing it, I think that's great. And then I'll eat my words and apologies to you, Greg. But if you're not, like, dude, just be careful, man. You're gonna ruin it for everybody. And then now we all can't do it. And then we're gonna all look at you and be like, man, Greg Horn, like, screwed us, screwed all everybody. It's like, come on, man, don't do that. Don't be a dick. It's like, come on. So
yeah, I was gonna try to find the cards.
Yeah.
Another bit.
I really appreciate your perspective on things and your open and your candidness of speaking about things. It's refreshing.
These are things that we all talk about as artists, and we don't want to. These are things that will affect us all, and it's just like, I can understand where people are making a lot of money, but at some point you gotta put a leash on greed a little bit, because I don't know, there's no other reason to be doing that other than that by mass marketing like that. You're really putting things kind of.
Yeah, here's like the Wolverine here. You can see the GH at the top, and by the way, fantastic art.
Yeah. Oh, Greg. Like, there's no doubt that Greg is.
He's dope. Yeah.
He's no respecter of persons. He's doing DCs too. So.
Well, that's the thing about it is I don't know if he's mass marketing these or these boutique things, or is like, are other people buying these and reselling them? Like, there's you got to be able to separate that, right? That's the difference. Like, I'm talking about when you show up at a convention and you have like a display that is 40 feet by 20 feet high, and you got lights and you got all this stuff, and you got, and you've got these huge posters that you're selling, and there's hundreds of them of a licensed character. That's where it's kind of like, dude, like, if he's not licensing it, the thing is, you'll know if he's licensing, right? Because it'll have a trademark info on it. So
right.
Because Marvel wants to be able to sign off on that. It has to have the Marvel logo in a certain way, and it looks a certain way. So, but he could very well be doing that. I don't know now. Like, I knew up until a couple of years ago he wasn't, but maybe that's changed. Maybe he's one of the artists that they reached out to. So who knows? Like, I don't know. I'm speaking operating on, like, we've been in COVID too. So it's like, we're just now seeing this. So, this is stuff that we were all discussing like 5 years ago, but a lot may have changed during that time. So
it's fair to say there's certain things that we don't know. Maybe something like that is happening, but hypothetically, if it's not, then we're discussing what the consequences might be. Especially, and it could have a ripple effect that affects the agreements with all artists. So it's worth being careful.
It definitely would, because it would change the playing field overnight. We would no longer be able to do that. And then we'd all be looking to Greg, because we're like, Greg, you ruined it for us. Or whoever is the guy who ruins it for us. Like, oh, okay. You're like, oh, dude. But I mean, people, given an inch, people will take a mile, and people want to make money, and I get it. You want to survive, but it's like, you're, for me, in my mind, like, you're a creator too. Like, you can, there's nothing wrong with making your own creations and trying to put those more front and center, and you don't have to trade off an IP to do that. I mean, it always helps, but you always want to try to exhaust every effort to actually legally license an IP to do that. Because when you license an IP, then whatever unique art you're creating, Marvel has rights to that now. You have the rights to do a print or a T-shirt, whatever is in your licensing contract, but then you can Marvel could put it on a comic or do whatever they want because it's their character, which rightly so, they can.
Jonboy, this may be difficult for you to answer, but
Sure.
in your work and what you've created and been a part of, what are you most proud of?
I think just surviving in the industry long as probably almost 30 years, so I think that's a cool achievement.
Cheers to that. That's a big deal. Yeah.
That is.
Oh yeah, Marvel Entertainment Law Division has entered the chat. That's a very small team, so I wouldn't worry about that. I'm worried about the Disney team. Disney legal team is the one. So yeah, they're hardcore, man. So they don't mess around. But
they haven't said anything about us calling this the Marvel show.
No, well, here's the thing. Like, it's fandom. It feeds into the brand. The thing is, it gets sticky when you start monetizing and then you create a logo that looks like the Marvel logo and you start doing those things. That's where you're kind of like, at some point, they're like, we got to put the hammer down on these guys. Like,
we've done all of those things. We just haven't made millions yet.
Well, here's the thing. It's not always about millions, but if you have millions of followers, then that is, people might think that you're speaking on behalf of the brand because you're using the same brand logos and things like that. So we're the United States is very litigious. So you really have to be careful when you guys are moving into these spaces. Like, okay, look, we are not affiliated with Marvel. We just call ourselves the Marvel Show because we love Marvel Comics. Like, that's it. That's our affiliation. That's it. We don't, our opinions are ours. You know what I mean? So, it's that thing. I mean, it gets very sticky, man. You can get in trouble for like, hurting someone's feelings these days, really. So, they'll sue you for punitive damages.
If you're doing anything that like really matters, you generally have those who have been sued and those who will be sued.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you're doing something like that actually matters, like you're moving the needle somewhere.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, is like, everybody has a voice and everybody has reach, and you just never know what thing that you're working on is really going to reach out to your listeners or reach out past that. You just never know. And I think but that's the thing about it, is you should be free to discuss these things and enjoy your fandom because that feeds back into the brand. We're not saying anything bad about anybody per se. We're talking about things that are happening within the industry. That individuals are doing. I guess we're calling Greg out a little bit, but I'm sorry, Greg. But I do love your work and respect you. But dude, like, if you're not licensing, dude, you might ruin it for us. Just be careful.
Yeah, I hear you actually saying that from a place of love, not like, hey, I want to trash somebody.
Well, I guess I guess the thing what I'm saying is just like, if anybody wants to do stuff like that, just be like reasonable about it. Like, look, man, like,
Yeah, and what I don't know is he may have given those away at a convention, and now people have put them up on eBay and they're reselling them. Like, I don't know.
I doubt any artist will give anything away for free.
I'm always gonna be a little. I'm gonna err on the side of positivity.
But I think dealers do buy them by the bulk and then resell them on eBay and things like that because there's a great market for that.
I'm gonna tell you something I want, and I want it to be licensed. And if it came from Upper Deck, that's fine. But I want it to be Marvel licensed and copyrighted. I want to be able to get an exclusive comic book that includes an exclusive card that is hard numbered based on how many of those books were made. So if there were only 800 books, there's only 800 cards, and those are also hard numbered, and it'd be like a variant for the card, almost like a COA, but like an official trading card.
Oh,
I would love that.
Maybe I'll do that. It's a good idea. But then people have one-on-one and one-on-one. But then people, honestly, when you do that, people instantly monetize off of it and start selling it. And it become like, but that, I guess that's part of it, So
yeah, it's like, but it would be random, like which one you got, and like maybe out of the 800, 10 of them have another variant of the 800. So like,
that's a good idea. So if I did a Kickstarter and I did a random card with it, and they're randomly numbered, and you might get a randomly numbered card in there that's signed and numbered.
Let me tell you something. If you get a Marvel license, it's done.
Oh yeah. Well, see, yeah.
It's got like, well, I have bought stuff that's not Marvel licensed because the card art was so cool. And like, I have a friend of mine who has done like COAs that way. Like and they're really nice, but they're not licensed, and so
Well,
you can't get it graded as a trading card.
So yeah, see, so it's sticky, right? So yeah, I think
I still think there's an opportunity there. I really do.
Yeah, I think
I missed something. What I know the COA thing, but what were you talking about? The hard numbered, like just a card accompanying the comic book, not as a COA, but you mean just a companion?
Yeah, well, yeah, like I probably have it sitting right there, but I don't want to waste dead air looking for it. But they are hard numbered, some of them, but they're not licensed.
Right.
Because they're not licensed, you can't like send it to CGC and get it graded as a trading card or PSA.
Yeah, I think for me it's really hard because like there's only so many gimmicks I'm willing to do. Like for my IP, I'd probably do like a couple of variant covers, but I'm not going to do like 30 variant covers like a lot of people.
No, but here's I understand the gimmick thing, but I actually think, look, to me, trading cards is its own collectible, and so what you do is you allow another type of collector to enjoy that art and your story. You see what I'm saying? So I get why it may feel like a gimmick to the comic book, but it's actually another collectible that can work with it.
I think it only works if you had a Marvel or DC thing. Like if I did my own creator own thing and did a card with it, I don't know if people would love that or not. It's interesting, but I don't know if they would.
Here, well, I think, and this is just me, Manu, speak into this too. I think it depends on what it does.
Right.
Like if it actually becomes a major success at some scale.
Yeah, that's true.
And then people are like, man, I wish I also had that to go with it.
Like, man, I use that as a bookmark. Like, damn.
Exactly. Oh. It's always, we say it on the show all the time. It's what people didn't want that becomes a thing that people wish they had.
Yeah.
Newsstand.
Yeah.
Newsstand being the chief example.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I think that's the hardest thing again to collect is newsstand comics because if you find those in great shape, man, it's like.
I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna jump in because we were so beautifully down that path of embracing newsstands and then almost embracing Mark Jewelers. But then you told your truth, Jonboy. You're like, but I don't know, the Mark Jewelers thing, you're taking it too far. All I want to say, the 90s, like we mentioned, super overproduced, right? And we like seeking out, finding the rarity, creating the rarity so that we can still have fun in a challenging way, looking for things we love that are available in abundance, right?
Yep.
And the newsstand is already rare, but that Mark Jewelers condition sensitivity of it is what like I go crazy for. Some people just love it because it's on a military base. That's amazing. And some people are into collecting that kind of thing. They have a different connection with it. To me, where I go with that is simply, wow, those had the least chance of surviving in a high grade. So that's all right. It's
that is true. That is true because you could tear it out and actually order from it. Yeah, you know, now that I see your point, I do because it makes it much more unique and it's a harder find. Because finding a great grade of newsstand is hard enough, but then you find something with like a special insert in it.
Well, the jeweler can actually create more damage to the book. Like because it's thicker paper, right? Like the card stock.
Well, actually, the idea was it actually would probably give it more strength on the spine if it's because it's a harder card, like it's a harder paper insert in the middle, so it actually acts like a support, kind of like a cheap backing board almost. A very flimsy one, but I guess.
Yeah.
Well, my job is done here, so thank you for your time, everyone.
That's right. So
Well, that doesn't always happen for him on the channel, so I'm really glad he was able to win somebody over tonight.
No, honestly, I think we collect what we collect because, like, if you collect something specific, like you collect Marvel Legends. Yeah, honestly, you'll probably collect that random figure if you think it looks really good, but you know that like I can't collect that many because like I like the McFarlane stuff. I start collecting them, then it's game over. Then I have to have them all.
Yes.
What's your favorite comic book in your collection?
Me or
because you're into comics. What is your? I mean, it doesn't have to be the best, right? Like your favorite, but what's a dope comic book?
The first CGC book I bought was a Hulk 340.
Oh, come on! All right, well, dang, okay.
And I think I want to say it is Newsstand, but
I love it.
I could be wrong.
Oh, I want to tell you, this is just fun facts. Okay, so our friend in the chat, West Coast Avengers, he has a 9.8 Newsstand 340. That's
Wow.
an incredible book. That book sells for multiples of the direct 9.8. Also, and I haven't verified this sale yet, a 9.8 Mark Jewelers 340 showed up on eBay a week ago for 15 grand. It's sold.
I think mine might have one in it because it looks a little thicker.
Oh,
But
wow.
I'm not going to know unless I crack it open. And I'm doing
No, you'll know from the top. You'll know from the top. You'll see the strip of a different color in the center. You don't even have to
You
crack.
got it?
Go.
Come
grab.
on. You got all the time in the world.
Okay,
Go
hold
grab.
on. Okay, hold on. Let me. I'll
Yeah,
be
you go
right back.
there.
Just
Yep.
to be continued.
To be
This is
continued.
amazing. This is West Coast Avengers energy has entered because now people are grabbing things that are
Oh,
in
yeah.
reach. I love it. I do want to say, Comics and Chaos, hello, thank you for being here. And that is either Rage Theo with us or that's One True Nerd King. They are the collective. They collectively make that channel. So welcome.
very
Thank you
cool.
for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
That's
All
fun.
right, we're back. We're back.
So it's at the warehouse. So
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let this not be the last time that we communicate on a screen.
yeah,
And
because if
we'll
it's a Marc
open up some
Jacob,
comic books.
if it is that, and I can see it on the top, then I'm just like,
Yeah.
So that means
I love
I
it.
can sell for how much?
Well, the one on eBay, I haven't verified because it wasn't a sale that I was aggressively like every now and then a sale that I love, I post it. And if I post it, I have to verify is it paid? Did it go through? So I didn't verify this one, but it was $14,999. And it says that it's sold because I used a third-party reference to see, and it says that it's sold for the full asking price, but I can't verify it. But 15 grand, 9.8 Mark Jewelers 340 white pager.
Wow.
That is quite a multiple over what the newsstand goes for, and the newsstand is already a multiple over what the
I have to
direct
find
goes
out
for.
now. I have to know because I was just there today pulling comics. I was like, oh, all my CGC books, even the ones that I do myself, I CGC, but I have like my collection is in the warehouse too. I don't keep it at the house. So
that's cool, man.
I have
love
some
that you're a
9.9
collector. It makes
Batman
sense.
Bams, but that's it. But I was like, oh, it's at the warehouse. I'm like, I wonder now.
So far, we got to go
good.
through your Marvel card collection, and we got to go through your Mark Jeweler collection.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you have any wizards in the warehouse, like the magazines?
Do you have any wizards?
No, like I gave those all away, and then some threw away because I was like,
which is why the wizard first 1 through 10, whatever you want to look at, are so difficult in a high grade, and I'm having such a blast enjoying the hunt and the finding and the grading of the high grade ones because we all read them,
like
threw them
garage
away.
sales, like like just like all right, I'm gonna hit this estate sales. Flea markets are the best, man. Some dude's like, I don't know. My wife wants me to sell this, like just whatever.
Well, I was just thinking, like us 90s kids are getting into our 40s pretty heavily, so a lot of us are going to start dying of massive heart attacks and stuff like that. So we should be hitting those garage sale estate sales. Might find some good stuff.
I used to do the flea market. It was at the dog track in Colorado, and I would go every Sunday, and we would just go hunt for comics, and I'd bring like $50 and walk out with like 200, 300 comics.
That sounds fun.
So now you got me. See, this is why the Marc Jacobs thing, because it's like you get excited. You're like, oh man.
I'm so happy that I didn't just let that conversation go.
Yeah,
the first 5 minutes.
That might be something I have to look into now. So I'm like, okay, we gotta figure that out. Got to figure that out. So,
John Boy, you're going to be in any shows anytime soon?
Yeah. I am actually doing. Oh, sorry. Click out of here. Sorry. I am doing Fan Expo Portland, which is actually this week. That starts this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that is in Portland at the Convention Center. So if you're there, please stop by and do a high five.
In Portland?
In Portland, yeah.
All right, we've got some friends in your area.
Yeah, come on by. I've got. Hold on, let me pull up my con schedule.
Yeah, you do that. I'm gonna ask you a question while you're doing it. So
my agent would be like, "Yes, promote, yes."
You can tell her you did it.
I've got Emerald City Comic Con, March 2nd through the 5th.
And where's Emerald City?
That is in Seattle. I have got WonderCon from March 24th through 26th in Anaheim. Then I have MegaCon Orlando. That's in Florida. That's March 30th through April 2nd.
You are going to be at MegaCon. So we have a ton of viewers who are going to be at MegaCon.
I will be there.
Okay.
Are you going? Are you guys going to make a presence? Be seen? Or?
MegaCon is going to be tough. I have a lot of reasons to go. but man, I'm traveling a bunch before and after that. So that's, and
Oh,
I'm wanting to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I got a trip to New York. So it's
okay. All right.
a lot going on. But I might, it's a 13-hour drive. So I have to fly.
Oh, just fly.
Yeah.
Anything
But
past 3 hours, like, just forget it. It's like,
and it's a layover. Anyway, it's just it's a whole thing.
but if you drive, you can theoretically bring more comics back. So
Look, there's no doubt about that. And I can actually do some work driving, so I don't have to completely check out. But 13 hours is 2 days. So
yeah, that's it's kind of,
you devote 4 days to get there and back.
I'm kind of an idiot because I got back to back shows, and it's kind of like,
yeah. Well, so what I may do then, if I can't get there, if you're open to it, so I'm starting an artist sketchbook journal that I just want to have artists like do a remark in the book itself and let it build over time. So it'd be one book with various.
Yeah, I probably just sketch something fast. Usually I don't do books anymore. So so books are great, but books are dangerous. So one guy
Tell me about it.
to do a Venom sketch in his book.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I was like, well, I don't have time right now. Just bring it by later. Okay. And then he came back later and said, hey, do you have my book? I'm like, what book? Like, you never brought it. He goes, no, yeah, I brought it over here. I dropped it off to you. It's like, did you lose it? Did you lose my book? Like, whoa. Like, dude, like, you never gave me your book. He got mad and left. Then he ran into another artist who he gave the book to. And he came back and said, oh, I gave it to this other guy. I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay. Do you want to do a sketch of a book? I'm like, no.
no, thank you.
Well, you can count on me not acting that way. If I lose my book, it's on me. Okay, number one.
Here's the thing. So I guess the point is, like, I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, I just don't do books now, but I will do your book. But I'll just do it right there. But I'm not doing like
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like the greatest thing ever. It's more of like the moment in the memory marked in a book. You know what I mean?
Books are like 500 pages, 200, 500 pages. Like, people spend a lot of money on it. So I understand why he freaked out. He's just, I thought I lost it or something, because you're talking about.
It is risky to put it all in one book.
Thousands of dollars, and it just, so, you don't want that to happen. But yeah, I think it's just, you really want to track actually who you got that off to. And you don't want to yell at another artist and accuse them of losing your book when you never gave it to them. So. But I mean, that happens. That has happened to every artist, I'm sure. Or we forget a book, or we're like, oh man, I got to mail this guy's book back.
There are a couple of things that Manu and I, not the Newsstand, we talked about you before having you on the show.
Sure.
One was your remarks that I've seen on your comic book covers. They're really impressive. You know what? Everyone else now is stepping up their game, so I'm going to have to figure out.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot of people now got the Posca markers, and they're doing color and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you freaking show offs. Like, now you're going to make me do color. That's more work. I'm not going to do more work. Well, you're doing more like a silver and black. Is that right? Or no, it's just white gel pen and marker. That's basically it. That's well, however you like, it really works. Yeah, they look cool. Yeah. It's Posco. PAO pasta markers. Yeah, pasta, or is it PASCA markers? Not pasta. Pasta. Making me hungry. Yeah,
I'll confirm for us.
Yeah, Posca. Just go to Amazon, type in paint markers, Posca or Posco, and they'll pop up. So,
Posca, PASCA. Yeah, you're right, Posca.
They're great markers. Yeah. So
POSCA.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Mattis Mac. Hey, he's got it. So,
and the other thing that Manu said when again first talking about having you on the show, he was like, "Man, Justin, this guy's art reminds me of like the blending of the '90s and now. Bringing them together."
Oh, thanks, man.
And I was curious.
It strikes me that way.
See, there's a reason why I like you guys, because I got a couple messages from people sometimes randomly on Facebook that says your work looks old, and I'm just like, oh
yeah, no, that's
why would somebody spend any time just to send you that message?
I did. Exactly. People want to tell me that's totally cool. I think it's just like I grew up on 90s comics, so that's the kind of stuff I like, a lot of detail, a lot of line, and that's like that's what I like. But I get it. We've got that's like comparing Steven Universe to, you know, the X-Men cartoon series is totally
But it's
different.
okay that someone has an opinion. It's not okay they just take the time out to say that.
No,
I
you know
agree with
what?
Justin.
Like, you know what? I've been told worse things online. So it's okay. I mean, but it's, you know, like, hey, you know, wow, people are very ballsy. It's like, wow, it's like, okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, let me see your drawing.
Well, I guess everyone feels like they want to put their opinion out there. I get it. It's just, you know, I
Well,
just feel like if you got nothing nice to say, maybe don't say it.
you're not wrong. I mean, we live in a world, and we've talked about this. Me and Manu is like we live in a world now where you get to actually promote what you hate.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
that's, I don't know,
and
that's negative.
in the
Okay.
and when the example is in the '90s, we didn't wear shirts to say "I hate Nirvana."
No.
Like we did, you had opinions. You didn't like stuff, but you didn't have a way to promote it.
You didn't
Loudly all
shame
the time.
people for liking stuff that they like, you know. Like,
Yeah. And so, anyways, that's not who we are.
Yeah,
And I can't imagine even having
Yeah.
the energy to reach out to somebody to tell them that. It's just crazy.
yeah, no time for that, man. It's like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, thanks, man. All right, have fun spending time with your wife and kids. I'm sure they love your company. So
Right.
yeah.
That's like my favorite thing when someone has like a miserable energy. The way I satisfy myself is just be like, I could only imagine the way
Yeah.
you've created a world around you of misery. You go have fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live
Yeah.
my life and pretend you didn't.
I feel
show
bad
up
for your
today.
kids. Like, oh, yeah, it's like, wow.
Yep. Well, Keith is backing us up here. Says modern nostalgia.
I love that.
Super crisp, super clean.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like, that's a big nod to like people who really influenced me. I was really big on manga, and
Yeah, it shows,
artists
yeah.
who kind of captured that kind of essence of
Mhm.
manga, like Joe Madureira and Jay Scott and Jason Pearson and Arthur Adams and Michael Golden were like my guys. Are like, those are my art heroes. That's what I want to be like when I grow up. You know, so
Dave here, who's a big Spawn fan, he
Hey.
says, looking at your Spawn issues, that art looked anything but old. The opposite, actually, looked fresh.
Well, thanks, man. Like, yeah, our whole goal was to just, when we brought Al Simmons back, like for me, I gave him the mouth and the tongue, kind of give him a more Venom vibe, and we really wanted to do something where it's like, this isn't the same Al Simmons. He's a different character. He's evolved now. Like and the best thing you can say about a character by his change is he's familiar, but he's different. You know, like there's something about this guy that's uniquely different. And now everybody does the mouth thing, like everyone does, and the tongue.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
That's like, oh, great. Well, we wanted to put that in there. So
I got to talk about Mattis Mack here. He's first of all says, as an 18-year-old, Meyers' work looks hip and cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
But the dude, look at his thumbnail. That's we got the Fantastic Four, Dr. Doom. It looks
John
like
Byrne. See that's one of my favorite artists too. Like John Byrne was like, honestly, like for me, like a lot of those guys like John Byrne and Barry Windsor Smith and a lot of those guys just untouchable, man. They're just like John Byrne can do like 3 pages a day, pencil to ink. It's just like unheard of. Like if I draw a nice face for one day, I'm like, I'm taking the day off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger and cry because this happened today. So thanks. Invisible. Yeah, I did a cover for Invincible.
I did want to talk about Invincible. I'm really glad that he brought this up. But let me finish. Mattis, either you're the coolest 18-year-old I've ever heard of, or you're really an old person.
No, he's the coolest 18-year-old.
He's got good taste. Yeah.
And look at the contrast. The comment right beneath. Oh, okay. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's finish that up. Your art is absolutely amazing, coming from a 48-year-old old timer.
Oh, you're not old, Chris. You're not old, buddy.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, you're looking young to me. But Comics and Chaos says, agreed. Your recent Invincible was fire. Hand clap. So as someone, I discovered Invincible through the Amazon Prime TV series. I did not read the
great
book
comic. Excellent.
But diving into your work, seeing the version of Invincible that you've done, when did you start working on him, and tell us about that?
Oh, I did. So that was for a guy called Comic Tom and the Million.
Yeah, was that, we know Comic Tom here?
Yeah. So I did that for them, and it was just a really nice thing because I back in the day, this is like 30 years ago, maybe in the 90s, like
Mhm.
we would do shows with Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore. We would be
Yeah.
teammates together, and sometimes we'd share rooms together. And
By the way, Kurtman is the creator of Invincible. Is that
yeah,
correct?
co-creator of Invincible
Yeah, I
with
just want to make sure people
Cory
knew who
Walker,
you're referring to.
and co-creator of Walking Dead with Tony
Yeah,
Moore and Charlie Adler.
he's pretty good. He might pan out.
No, it was great. So, when this thing kind of came around, I was like, oh, well, great. I get to draw Invincible finally. So I got to do something, Comic Tom, sorry, do something that is kind of like, hey, like, I want to pay tribute to a great character. And I know these guys from way back. I need to do a good job on this. So, that's kind of how the thing came about. And I wanted to, like, I think they were like, I guess Whatnot was doing like stuff with Tyler Kirkham doing Invincible covers, and
Right.
the single ones. And I thought it would be important to try to do something that kind of differentiated itself from it. So I was like, well, look, can we do a double page spread where he's flying through a monster and he's all bloody? Like, let's do like a gory cover. Let's do something that's a little bit different.
You did kill that artwork though.
I wanted to do something different from like Tyler was really good, and I didn't want to do something that was like riding his wave of what he did. Like, you want to kind of like, okay, like we have to do something that's different. So, but it's equally as cool, and I think we did that. So,
Well, you've done this a couple of times. You're like, hey, look, well, let's do more. Let's do more. Like
I always want to do more because, like, I'm a fan. Like, I want to do it right. I want to pay tribute to those things because it's just like you want to do that image that, like, oh, this is so great. I'm really excited about it. You want to feel like you feel the emotion of that character. Like everything, that cover, I'm trying to encompass everything about Invincible that you need to know. It's a superhero book. It's bloody disgusting. There's guts everywhere.
Yes, there is.
So. I think, hey, mission accomplished. That box is checked. But it was a really nice thing to do to show my love for the character and pay tribute to, like, working with, knowing Robert and Cory for all these years. So it's just nice to be able to contribute to their characters. So yeah, like, hey, why not?
Very cool.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Yes, they're referring to season 2 that I think is going to come out soon.
I think next month, right?
Starts next month.
Like,
we got some good shows coming. We got can't even think now. Din Djarin. I can't think.
Oh yeah, the
Mandalorian. Wow, you can say Din Djarin, but I can't say Mandalorian.
Still, we've got. There's a lot of, like, that's the thing about it, is compelling narrative. Like, people want more. They want something more interesting and different. And, like, I think television is doing a great job. I think comics can do a lot more to kind of diversify a little bit, not just creator owned, but I think, publishers kind of go back to basics a little bit, because I think things feel a little too, there's too of everything now. Like, it kind of makes it a little less special in my mind. I think,
we talk about it a lot of time here. We say, hey, if you tell a good story, it's going to work.
Yeah, I think,
you don't have to be too much of this or too little of that or all of this or none of that. Like, just tell a good story, and it's going to work out. Like, that's what's going to stand the test of time, is a compelling story.
Yeah. I just wish there were more, like, unique characters. It doesn't have to be too Batman. Like, you can make, Tim Fox so much more interesting. Like, do so much more. It's like, man, it's like, I just think it's just, I feel like it's a lost opportunity, because it's like, it's great to create newer characters and introduce something new. Maybe he takes over the mantle for a little while, but then he does his own identity. He doesn't have to be wrapped up in someone else's identity to be a really cool, interesting character. That's my thing.
Well, I think that we'll look back in whatever span of time.
I know.
But I think we'll say, hey, this group of people didn't know who they were. There's a true identity crisis going on all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that that's rearing its head up a little bit too.
We're so old. We're such old men. We're just like, hey, back in the day.
You know, kids, if you just
It's happened. We've become that. That's
I know.
literally what we say all the
You know,
time.
as long as we don't turn into the comic book guy, I think we're okay. So,
yeah.
or we're just peeing on everyone's opinions about comics. Like, you was never that good.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Oh yeah, I
We
know
don't
what
want
you
to be
mean.
on
That is
yeah. But we all know a
that is
comic
our
book.
local.
Everybody knows a comic book guy.
Oh
yeah.
gosh,
I've had like 2 in my life, so
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
can't even.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just gonna. Can I read some of these? There's such really beautiful comments, and I'll get them out of the way really quickly.
yeah, do it.
And I'll just start here with Comics and Chaos. We're talking about Invincible still, and he said it was done great. This is Rage, by the way. That's Rage Theo. What's up, my man? And he goes, when I had those Invincible in hand, I couldn't keep them. Everyone wanted them, and they still asked for them. Well done, sir. So I think that's great. And West Coast is sort of echoing that, but in a different way. He said Invincible is the best superhero book in the last 30 years, hands down. Killer cover.
Thanks,
John Boy.
Yeah.
And skipping a few here, something that maybe I'm not connecting the dots, but this is of interest to me. Comics and Chaos says again here, agreed, we need a live adaptation of Darkwing Duck. Is that connected to something we said, or is that just generally being thrown in there because we need to shake stuff up a little? Because I'm in support of that.
You said great shows coming. And so we had people telling us some of the great shows because
the first issue of it, their Dynamite's doing a Darkwing Duck series. I think the first issue sold over 100,000 copies.
Do what?
Yeah, it's Darkwing Duck.
I mean, I loved Darkwing Duck as a kid. Honestly,
I'm more DuckTales, and
DuckTales. Love DuckTales too, man.
Okay, DuckTales jumped the shark when Bubba came. Then that was it for me. I'm like, okay, I have to get off this train now.
Bubba, I don't even remember Bubba.
Okay, if you guys know who Bubba the Cave Duck is, then you will know.
I'm gonna Google it because I don't. I know, you know.
I just couldn't. I'm like, all right. It's like G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe, but when they went into space and had Cobra Law, that was it for me. I'm like,
well, so like I missed G.I. Joe. I missed Transformers somehow as a kid. I think maybe their toys were.
I think it's regional.
Oh, Bubba!
Yeah,
I remember, dude.
So the original like DuckTales with Bubba, the prehistoric duck, like was just oh man, yeah, I don't know.
John Boy, are you a Carl Barks fan?
I am a Carl Barks fan. Yes. I was this close. I was at the Fan X. Was it Fan X in Utah, and Carl Barks was there. Or is it no? That was Sam De La Rosa that was there, and he's I think it was Sam. Anyway, he was doing, he's one of the old school guys who did Scrooge McDuck, and I was like, oh, I should go talk to him and get a sketch, and I was just too scared to, so I did. I'm just like, oh, I should have.
Oh, so Carl did the art. I got you.
Carl did the art and a lot of the writing, and then a guy named Sam De La Rosa came too. And I don't think Carl was there, but I think it was Sam who was there. So. I should have gone.
Cody says John Boy has a little bit of classic Disney in his style too. Could kill a Kingdom Hearts comic series.
That would be a cool series to do. Yes, it definitely would. I don't know why no one has done that yet. Final Fantasy with Disney would be awesome.
Well,
had no idea why that hasn't happened, but yeah, I like Disney's economy of line and like they have really good bounce to the designs and how movement. Like for me, anime like is about movement. I'm always trying to do something with movement in what I'm doing. Even when characters are standing still, there has to be some sort of movement, So, because like just I don't know, just a guy just standing there like, just like nobody does that. No, nobody does that. Like,
vanilla poses like I do like some vanilla. Like sometimes some are calls for a vanilla pose, like, but to your point, I want action. Like I want movement.
I always want action and movement because it feels more natural for these characters to be moving through space or whatever, Yeah, DuckTales is hot right now. Like the animated series just wrapped. There's a really cool art book on Amazon. You can get it. It's like $80, but I want to do it, but it's $80, man. I can't pull the trigger, man.
Let me see this art book. Let me see.
Yeah, art
on Amazon.
On Amazon. It's awesome book, man. You guys should
So
get
what
it.
would you say is like the average age of people who are like really into DuckTales?
I think it's the thing about it is I think it's cross generational. I think it hits everybody because like I watched DuckTales even when I was in college, you know, and when the reruns would come on Bubba the Duck or Gizmo Duck, I'm like, I'm out. Can't watch it. Can't do it. Like just not. It's like it's just for me. DuckTales at its heart was an uncle and his nephews, and he's taking them on these cool adventures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it, right? So when you throw all these other things in, it kind of takes it out of it, and it's kind of like, you know, Huey and Dewey are great characters, and the fact is they kind of took a backseat to Bubba. And then Webigail, and Webigail too, but like taking a backseat because Bubba's there. It just was kind of like it kind of shows up like what happened? Did he get married and he got another kid, or what happened? It just got awkward.
Yeah,
right?
it did get awkward. Okay.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just kind of like, But I've always loved Uncle Scrooge. The whole thing with the money bin, like who does not want to have a money bin they go swimming in? That would be so awesome.
Right.
So this has me ask another question. When you're I got like two questions dancing in my head right now. When you're creating your art, do you have children? You mind me asking?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about like your kids? Or are you thinking about, hey, would they appreciate this? Would they enjoy this? Would I want them to see this? Is like any of that involved at all?
No, I just like I have nieces and nephews, and you want to make sure you're doing things because like when you're young, you think it's really cool to draw like racy women, and you got you know like, and then you grow up, and then you have young ladies in your life, like kids, and they're growing up, and you just kind of like, man, I was really juvenile and really stupid, and you don't want to portray that same thing because you don't want them to be objectified or things like that. So I think my tastes have changed. I think you can still draw strong, powerful, beautiful women.
Yeah, by the way, super attractive female.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. It's not like
I mean, as soon as this came in, I have a wife and 2 daughters. I ran in there. I was like, yo, look at this.
You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They were not like, Dad, that's weird for you to own that. No, there was none of that.
No, they're like, why is her boobs so big? I mean, these are pretty honest. So like when you show things to kids, they're just going to blurt it out, and you don't want, it's already tough enough in this world. You don't want to contribute to like thinking kids need to think like that. It's just
Well, that kind of leads me to my second follow-up question. Have you ever thought of, and I'm not asking you to do that, I'm just curious, like, have you ever thought of like making something exclusively like it was geared towards kids?
Well, Princess Dragon Killer is kind of like that, but it's got elements of Harry Potter. So I mean, people do die, like things do get their heads cut off.
Yeah, but look, it was like learning that Morph died in X-Men was like that set the proper drama to help the show actually have its impact. So that's
I think it would be nice to do an all ages book, like for younger kids or for everybody, like someday. I think like for me, I'm not getting any younger, so I really want to do this creator own. I've got a I've got a Western, then I've got a horror one that I want to do. I've got a lot of stuff that like I have a lot of stories that I want to tell, and
I think a lot of the all-time best-selling stuff is like geared towards like a 4th grade, 3rd grade reading level. Kids, it doesn't really veer too much from that.
Yeah, it really kids, like they like the weirdest things, and you just never know what's gonna jive with a young audience. I think for me, as someone who hasn't done a lot of creator, and I want to do things that kind of appeal to like my sensibilities, but also like maybe teenagers on up, because there's things that I've been told my entire career. We've talked about even working on Marvel Snap cards that. You have to do things a certain way, and we want it a certain way, and want it to look like this. And you get so many people telling you what to draw and how things are going to look. Like, I just want to do a couple projects on my own that are just what I want it to be. And if I want to draw a princess with a giant sword cutting the head off a dragon, I can do that. No one's going to stop me. Like, she can be as crazy as she wants, like throwing the head at people. Like, she's, like I could do all that. And I think I kind of want to do that and kind of get that out of my system, and then maybe after that, then there's room to do something else. Like
look, when the time comes, I'd love for you to come back on the channel. I'm not saying you have to wait until then, but like I would love to when this time comes for you to show and share. And
absolutely.
I would love that.
Yeah, I think like maybe even before the crowdfund goes live, maybe we can come back and talk about that, and share some pages with you. Like, hey, here it is.
Oh, that would be, look,
Give
if you
me
start
your
to share them,
money.
that's when the show really gets going because they're like,
Yeah,
oh, your stuff. Let's look
yeah,
at it.
let's check it out.
How Justin makes these things happen, I don't know, but I'm just so happy to
You
be.
know what? I think the thing about your show is this: that you guys are very nice people. You're very pleasantly persistent. You don't really like, hey, you put it out there like, hey, we're fans. We'd like to have you on the show to discuss this, but you don't want to. Hey, that's totally cool. We just like, hey, we like your work, hey, whatever. Peace out, right? So very nice, and I think for me, I am a fan at heart, and it's always because we found out about a lot of stuff, right? And I'm the same way. I like talking about comics and things that I'm passionate about, and
Yeah.
it's like we can all get together and share our love collectively online on a podcast and talk about like how cool 340 is now special. Now I'm thinking like I want every book like to have that insert in it now because it's like, oh yeah, I
It's
got
so
one now.
amazing.
I think you're right because if you find one and you got one, then you want another one. Yeah,
It's the hardest of the hunt. It's so fun. But like I put you, and I don't mean to sound weird when I say this, but you're very talented, you're successful. I do have you on a pedestal, right? Like I think of you as someone above. I don't like, I'm not accomplished in the way that you are. And so I'm like,
oh
wow,
man,
it's amazing. And then to have you here with us and you're a human being. The
oh yeah,
conversation is so human.
we're all the same. Like I think the thing about it is like yeah, look, we just have a little bit, our jobs are a little bit more interesting, and we're creating cool content that you guys get really excited about. And I love being able to share that and talk about it, but I don't think that doesn't make my station any special, or it doesn't make me some unique unicorn with special feelings or.
Nah, it's dope,
you
man. I really appreciate your perspective on things. It's
Yeah,
really
I
cool.
think I think it's great to just come together on things we love and enjoy. And if you guys like my work, great. I love talking about that, but I like talking about other artists and other things. And it's really nice that when you're doing things that like I think in any job that you're doing, you always do want it to resonate with people. Like whatever job you're doing, you want people to tell you, hey, you know what, you're an awesome. Thank you for your service. You're great. Like best waiter we've had like all week, or we all need those attaboys, man, because it's like people notice like, oh wow, like it's a really good thing, and you guys are so down to earth, like who wouldn't want to talk to you guys, man? So
How
I can think
nice.
of a few
Oh my
people.
goodness.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
So what up?
this has been great.
yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I chimed in so late, so I had to take.
Dude, it's so amazing that you were here. Thank you.
Yeah,
No, it was, your timing was perfect. Like I said, you honored your word. You were right. You were a minute early. Like that's
punctual.
you can perform when people have integrity. Like
Oh well, you know
really
what, man, I'm glad you guys had me on. It's always great to meet new people, and thank you for your purchase again. That really means a lot because I've actively turned down a lot of work to work on my creator projects. So this is why I'm selling art. It's like, I've had these things for 2 years. I'm like, well,
I have a strong feeling that you were going to sell these anyways, but I know now you're not going to have any trouble.
Right.
You know what? You never know. There's always that one card that people just don't want. And it's like, it's probably the one that
challenge accepted.
I'll be surprised if Taskmaster sells, man. Cause people are like, yeah, it's Taskmaster. I'm like, yeah.
But like you said, you did what? How many of these, original RP? 10. Okay. And because of the grind of like the changes, it might as well keep it digital.
Yeah. It was a lot easier.
I suspect that was true for other artists as well.
And maybe, yeah, like maybe.
Well, I can already tell you that I've already talked to some, they've only did digital. So
yeah, because of the changes, man. It's just
and so I just think that it's a really unique opportunity, which isn't going to be as plentiful as people may even think with the art that's out there. And then here's the other thing. Your cards are almost like all, and I may say this poorly, so forgive me if I do, but they're like all base cards.
Yeah.
They're not the variants.
Yeah.
I actually think that's important.
Yeah, those are the cards everyone else starts off with. So I was like,
they're the start. They're the base. And so everything else is a variant. And again, this is why, and then the scale that you did it on, you did them all on 11 by 17.
They're all 11 by 17, but I think Iceman and Hobgoblin are actually 2 pieces. Each one has 2 because the glider is so big. So
you mean 2 11 by 17s?
Yeah, they're put together.
Wow.
It's even like
Well, I mean, it goes over, like it goes past 111 by 70, but it's also another part of the card.
Yeah.
that
My
takes
point
up
is,
that, so
they're not 5x8s.
no,
They're
they're
not.
not 5. I don't like working because so the idea is because I want that line art to tighten up when it gets reduced down. So
But you do love the 3x2.5, the trading card size. Is that right?
You know what? So, like, anytime you guys want me on, if I have time to do it, just let me know. Just hit me up, and maybe my Kickstarter, I will do a couple. I'll have blanks that people can request whatever cards they want. I'm like, hey, $300, you get the book and you get this sketch card, and you can request any character you want as long as it's Marvel card, Marvel character, and no nudity, please, and nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, well, this channel we
keep it
aim
clean
to
here. Yes.
keep it clean. Yeah.
So I think I cussed a couple times. I'm sorry. So
No,
I loved it. I loved it.
kind of slipped out.
Good.
Yeah. So hopefully YouTube does not get mad if you guys put that on YouTube.
No, YouTube probably likes it. It's I want my nephews to be able to watch.
Yeah. So any apologies if we said anything, guys. You don't repeat that.
You're good. I would have said something if it went too far. You were good.
Yeah, okay, you're like, hey man, we can't say that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'll do that when it's appropriate. But you were great, man.
I get my hand slapped all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I believe it, man.
Yeah, trust me, Manu puts the FU in fun all the time.
You know what your nephews might be saying? Like, you put the FU in fun.
Well, you just don't forget the N. So
yes,
I love
it. That's something we all used to say when we work in comics, and it's comics are supposed to be fun, and when you're getting drilled on, we always say, dude, you put in the FU and fun. It's like, dude, this is like, you gotta man. Like,
this is just an outside perspective. Gosh, it's got to feel like modeling, when because like there's always someone new trying to come in and take that space.
I think
from an artist standpoint,
it's always in the back of your mind, but you have to stand on your own 2 feet and say what makes me unique. And if people want that, then that's great. If they want somebody else, hey, that's totally fine. Like, I'm okay. Like, my art's not for everybody, and they want to go with somebody else. And hey, that's totally cool. I think the thing about
such a mature thing to say, to realize you're not for everyone.
Yeah, because like when you're starting out, man, you work for anybody, and I get it. And I've had people try to like railroad me on jobs, and then the editor's yelling at me because it's like, why did you tell him to call me? And I'm just like, why would I do that? It's like, look, if he's good, he's looking for work, give him work. Like, I don't care. Like, but yeah, I think you just have to be confident in the job that you're doing. It's just like any job anywhere else out there. If you're a salesman or you're in the service industry, if you're good, people will want to continue to work with you. And if you're not, it's like they usually let you go and replace you. But I mean, it's, I'm always thankful to have the work. And it's just, for me, I'm always more concerned about with doing good work. And if I can't do good work on a project, I won't be part of that project. It's just not something that I'm passionate about. Because for me, like, I can't get excited about the character. It's like, man, I can't do this. Yeah. Like, it's not I mean, you can tell when your favorite artist does something, they're like, man, they kind of mailed that in. Yeah. And I've had to mail things in before. I just don't want to do that anymore. It's like I'm not your guy for this. Yeah.
You don't want to make the Batman 412. Is it 412? 437? What's the issue that Todd did of Batman?
423?
423.
Right.
But what an epic mail-in, though. That thing's legendary now. But yeah, he admits, he's like, I made a whole cape cover this because I didn't have time to draw like anatomy.
You know what? So next one we'll talk about like all the Toddisms that Todd talked to me about while I'm working on Spawn and that I need to be doing that I wasn't doing as an artist. And we can talk about all that.
Yeah, let's not do it here because we're getting into hour 3. But yes. Love.
I actually have to get ready for a show too, so I've got comics I have to autograph and bag and prints to go through and get ready. So
wow.
I hope this is giving you more energy, not taking it from you.
Oh no, it's been great. It's great talking to you guys. It's always good connecting with people, man. So I'm always in. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me, and I'm gonna have to run. Maybe when I get back from Portland, I have to go to the warehouse. Like, hey, where's my CGC books? I have to flip through it. It'll probably be the one on the very bottom box that I have to go through, and I'm like, is it it or not? I don't know.
You know that's how it's going to work. It's a back corner, bottom box.
Oh, it always is. It's like, and if it's not, I would be so mad because like I have my back for this. I had to dig through this. So, but I think it's great. I can understand why, because it goes with the comic hunt. Like when you're on the hunt for something, that's that thing that you really want. And you're like, oh, you got it.
Yeah. You know what? And next time you're on, I got to show you some Marvel cards that I think you might.
Yeah. That'd be great. I wouldn't be surprised if Snap put out a art of Snap at some point. So don't be surprised. So
I'd be in for it. Then I'd have to have all the rogues. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a whole book of everything collected. And you're like, that's my card. That's cool. So, awesome. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm out of here. I got to get back to work. And thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I know it's late over there, so super late over there. So
yeah, here it's getting to 11 o'clock. But
man, yeah.
Well, we all, I know you're new to the show, but we always say is have a marvelous day. So, Jonboy, thank you. Hope you have a marvelous day.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, have a marvelous night and a marvelous week, and hopefully we can connect here really soon in the future. So,
yeah. Thank you, man. A real pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for chiming in and great questions and great comments.
Everyone's saying thank you, by the way. Everyone is saying thank you. They're super happy that you're here. And
it's a lot of great questions. Everyone's really engaged, man. It's really cool.
So, we have the best community. I mean, I'm sure there's other great ones. I just don't know of them, but we look forward. This is episode number 44 weeks in a row. We haven't missed a week yet. Praise the Lord. And looking forward to moving forward.
Next time I'm on, maybe I could send you guys some comics that are signed, and maybe we could do some giveaways for some of your. Like, let me know. Maybe after Portland, just maybe I could send a couple comics. Maybe we could do a couple Invincible comics.
Yeah, Manu's up the road, and he's really good at shipping. We'll let you send them to him.
I'll take care of it. I'll take care of the shipping. I'm in California. I'm in the Bay Area.
I'm in the Bay Area.
What the? No. Okay.
I'm in Cupertino. Like, where are you at?
You're close. I'm 45 minutes away from you. I'm in the East Bay. Yeah.
Okay. So cool. So Manu, like, you guys send me a good address where I could ship you some stuff. I'll ship you some signed comics and some other swag. Next time you guys have me on, like, keep a copy for yourself, right? Each. But then we got to give it to your listeners.
So, you can count on that. You can count on that.
So
yeah.
You guys have to pay the postage mail that crap out, so I can't mail it out. But I'll mail your stuff out, but you got to mail it too.
I'll take care of everything. I'll do all of the facilitating, logistics, whatever it's called. You got my help. Yes.
To be continued, right? So just let me know next time when you guys want to have me on, and if so, then give me that address. I'll get stuff out to you like 2 weeks beforehand. And
you bet.
Then you guys, however you guys want to do, like.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're here every week. And we'll just need to work around your travel schedule because
like these I got like 4 shows or 5 shows back to back. But just let me know when you guys want, and I can just say, hey, you can ask me what my dates are, and we can figure something out. It'd just be nice to do something to give back to your audience, because like it's cool to be listening, but then it's cool to like win stuff and get something.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys gonna have to figure out like how you're gonna give the items out. I don't like.
Oh, trust me, we know how to do it.
We got
to figure it out. The hashtag Jonboy. And
okay, all right.
And we'll give away.
So we're gonna do this. So we're in for this.
Oh, this is so awesome, man.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's gonna happen.
So chat, if you're not already, go follow Jonboy on Instagram. I shared his website earlier. I don't know if you know this because you said about your website, but it asked me for my email address earlier, and I gave it my email address. Right. And so make sure you put that in there so you can keep up with what's going on. And if you saw the Marvel Snap art, the original art that's for the game, and you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. Am I allowed to give out your email address?
Yes, jonboy@jonboymeyers.com. That goes actually to myself and my agent Melanie. So
yeah, the email I think is the best way. So don't just blow up his DMs on Instagram. I think the email is the best way to to get that. And be sure to reach out if you're interested in it. There's only 7 left?
There's 7 left. Oh man.
Yeah. It's gonna go fast. So
yeah, I'm giving away my children. Take them all. Get them out. Get them out of here. So all right, guys. All right. So to be continued, part 2 in a couple of weeks, I guess. So
awesome, man. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Have a good night.
Take care, bud.
All right, bye.
Wow.
That was fun.
What? What?
Oh, what a joy.
Oh my gosh, dude. He's awesome. That was so much fun. Justin, thank you for making all of that happen. And John Boy, thank you for everything. That was
I love how
incredible.
Hamport's like, we got them trained. This hashtag, they're already putting it in there.
Yeah.
Hashtag pasta markers.
Oh, I thought that said postmaster for some reason. It definitely says pasta markers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
that was great. I need a pen. I got notes to take.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go through a couple of these. You'll have to give Justin your address a couple of times. Actually, we're going to get around that and give it straight to Manu because
Yeah, I'll take care of all of that. It's what I do.
look, I had my friend from Australia. I'm not going to say any names. He bought something here in the United States, had it shipped to me, so that I could then send it to PSA for him. In exchange, he bought me a card and had the card shipped to me before I had his package shipped.
My goodness.
But
So bad. we know we have come to accept that, and it is perfectly fine.
Dave said, "See John Boy, buy John Boy." Hashtag. Thank you, Diorama Rama. I'm going to get you taken care of. It'll be worth the wait, I promise. Although someone won a surfer poster for me last year, and I still
is that Soul Collectibles?
Is it Soul Collectibles?
Is it Soul? Could be. I know he won something.
I talk to Soul all the time. He needs to bring it up.
If you're with us, Soul, let us know if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that might be it.
Oh, this was nice of Chris. He said, "Nice professional job, fellas. Totally great way to spend my night at work." Well, that is really kind.
That is really nice. Thank you.
Interviews of people that you've actually like never really met before. Is there, how am I going to do this? What do they want to talk about? What's going to give them energy? And you have the questions. These are the thoughts that run through my head. Like, I have the questions I know I want to ask, but it's probably the same ones everyone's asking them every time they get interviewed. But do they really want to answer that again for the 80th time?
Right. Yeah.
But it's kind of a tug of war there.
Right. And he popped on the screen and he was just so sociable right away. And then the first thing we started talking about was Newsstand. So I was at ease. I was like, okay, this is going to be a great evening.
I was thinking, well, that couldn't have went any better.
Right.
But,
oh my gosh. What a guy. That's cool.
Oh, it's 1 a.m. in Puerto Rico. And, well, you said you're stuck here.
Well, T-Bear's in Puerto Rico? Oh, well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a good time there. And thank you for enjoying the show, T-Bear.
I want to know what he's doing in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Thank you, Diorama. But Stacking 9mm says, very interesting to see the artist's perspective on the industry and hobby.
There was some really cool things discussed that I was all ears. I was like, oh, we're talking about the good stuff.
He was very much an open conversation.
I appreciate that so much. How refreshing is that? Like, I love
not overly guarded. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Big respect.
It was, I was working hard to listen and hear, but also be prepared for the next question. So I may have missed some stuff. I might have to watch back as well.
You're so good at that. I wonder, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that. You're so dang good at that. It's like he already had that planned. I don't know how.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
All right, let's see what's going on. I'm just getting my wits about me. That was a lot of great energy.
Yeah, we're digesting this live for everybody.
Yeah, we are.
That is, gosh, I mean, we've had big guests on before. Technically, we've had some big people, but just
that's exactly what I was thinking, Derpa. I think I was thinking of saying the exact words. I didn't, but that's exactly what I was thinking. My goodness.
Did we just become best friends? Yeah, that was the kindness that he showed right at the end. Well, I mean, through the whole thing, but just to say, I want to come back and I want to give something away, and he doesn't know, like, that's one of the fun things we like to do here.
That organically came to be, and he is
that's alignment.
Volunteering to be a part. That's alignment, Justin.
He's like, I want to come show off my Newsstand and Mark Jeweler comics and give stuff away. Yep.
What?
Right where you're supposed to be.
Too cool. All right. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Free comics. Thanks, Justin, for putting the foot forward to getting the Rogue. Hopefully the Blade OA will find its way to my PC because of it. I hope that for sure.
I hope so
If
as
you
well.
haven't put in your email to him, please do so. I think you may have sent him a message, but he will honor as much as he can, who comes first. And so,
Since there's 7 remaining, the third batch is going to be of 4 available then.
yeah. So we can kind of actually go through that real quick here.
Okay.
Because they're on his Instagram. So if they're on Instagram, he doesn't post the OA, which is the black and white, until it sells. So you have Hobgoblin here, Iceman.
Man. That Iceman's sick too.
It really is. Scarlet Witch, and then Blade. I actually think the Blade in that all black and white ink is got to look really good. Really good.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 of the 10. Okay. So more than likely the other 3 Snap has not released yet. So he hasn't posted.
Okay.
So until it's available in the game, he can't release it.
Free comics, we're sending all the energy your way. That blade is going to end up in your PC.
For sure. But here was that Sabretooth.
That Sabretooth is killer. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Wow. And of course, he sold that one first. And of course, he sold me the Rogue. Now, our buddy Shane, for those who don't know, Shane was the one who opened his Marvel Exquisites. We did 3 or 4 boxes and he gave a box away. Remember?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's Shane.
Very cool.
Yep.
Dude. Yeah, I can't wait for the Mark Jewelers Hulk comic either. And I don't want to say if he, I want him to have one. He has one. Yes, I can't wait for it. I can't.
I was really glad that some of your comic friends were watching.
Yeah, that was nice. It's all it feels like little warm hugs everywhere. It's very cool.
They're like, Manu's a real deal over there.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got friends like Justin. I don't know. He put me, it's just amazing to me.
Yeah. That surfer giveaway was dope. I remember that. He's talking about the
one with all the prints. There was a bunch of prints given away that day, and others.
Yeah, we gave away a lot of prints, and I shipped all the other ones. I don't know why I keep missing his address, but we got it. I actually have a really nice box that I can ship a large print in now because of Mr. Jonboy.
Beautiful.
He sent the Rogue in, so it's perfect. I just need to get his address again.
Beautiful.
Does Comics Tom still have a show on WNBC? What?
Wait, what?
Whatnot? But Whatnot? BC?
Wait, what? Does Comic Tom? West Coast is laughing. This is This is an inside joke. This is tying into an episode that West Coast released yesterday. I'm assuming, and I haven't seen it yet. That's what this is. Okay, it's an inside joke, and we're still on the outside because we haven't watched the episode yet.
Well, so like Dave knows I love him, right? I started watching it. I could not finish it. I couldn't.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Oh no, it's like it's well done in like the editing and all that stuff, but I couldn't finish it.
Did you feel bad?
It made my chest hurt.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Armand Dio says, Manu, you were on his show last night. I know, but we didn't talk about WNBC.
Yeah, it's got to be Whatnot something.
I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna watch the
something
episode.
Like that. you were on it. I see what you were just saying that. Let's talk more Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, and Chippendales, please.
I would not mind talking about that all night long.
Question for you: Did Darkwing Duck feel like, as a kid to you, like Batman but a duck?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they were going for.
Yeah, I do remember liking that show a lot. The more
it was like just more playful and stuff like that. But I have my Darkwing Duck comics here. Rage Theo. It was him that just nominated his Darkwing Duck, right?
Oh wow!
I think. Yes. Oh no. I think Desired Comics posted his Darkwing Duck 9.8. That's what it is. Rage loves Darkwing Duck comics. But Desired Comics, Nigel just posted his 9.8 of Darkwing Duck #1. I love that book. I love that book.
I've never owned a comic book version, but I just, that show come out in what, 91, 92? So that was perfect age for me. It was
Had to have been around there.
Was 8, 9 years old. Yeah, it was a great show. Why did it only have 2 seasons? That doesn't make sense. 3 seasons.
Darkwing Duck only had 2 seasons?
Well, 3 seasons.
It had more than 2-3 seasons worth of impact on my life. But also,
when you're that's because season 1 had 65 episodes.
Whoa.
There we go.
DuckTales and Darkwing Duck were almost back to back when they came out. Yeah, and it's part of that afternoon block of cartoons, the way that I remember it, if I remember it correctly. It was like 4 stacked shows, or maybe 3, I don't remember. And then after you were done watching the cartoons, you would hop over to ABC or Channel 7 and you would watch the evening sitcoms. There were 3 or 4 of those stacked, between the hours of like 7 and 9. And then I vaguely remember a stack of sitcom. I don't know why I keep calling it a stack rather than a block. I think it's called a block of shows. And then there was TGIF. TGIF was a block of shows on a Friday evening on Channel 7, I think. Or ABC.
TJ.
On Friday evenings.
Yeah. I wonder if we can look that up. I mean, I know we can, but
Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince. Like, come on. Yeah, Simpsons. Oh, wait, Fresh Prince Simpsons was Fox. Was Fresh Prince a Fox show?
Darkwing Duck was Disney, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't have a Disney Channel.
Reruns after school. That makes sense. They had Darkwing Duck wasn't a Disney Channel show though, because Disney Channel was like you had that, you were an HBO Showtime sort of family if you had the Disney Channel.
Was it like ABC or something then?
It was the WB from what I remember. WB. Warner Brothers thing. But that wouldn't make sense for it being Disney. Maybe it wasn't Disney.
Let's see here.
Or who knows? All these corporations at the top probably are owned by one person, so it's all the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. Let's see.
NBC, the Peacock. Fresh Prince was the Peacock.
All right, so Animaniacs, which I'm sure you watched that too, right?
Yeah, I remember that very, very well, yeah.
That was 95 to 99, according to what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Let's see.
The TV Illuminati, yeah. The Cartoonminati.
Cartoonminati. The Toonanati.
Yeah.
Like cartoons. Sorry, it sounded better in my head.
No, it's fine.
It took a minute.
No. Yeah. What I was about to follow up with would not have made the show.
All right. Oh, well, this says the WB launched in 1995, so that can't be right.
It did? Oh, so that must have been a rebranding from what we remember. Like when Smallsville and those Superman shows came, that must have been.
You know what? It says it launched on my birthday, September 9th.
Wow. Very alignment.
Yep. Makes perfect sense.
I don't remember Quail Man. Oh, he was in Doug's show. Nick, he was on Doug.
Oh, yeah.
Then I probably do remember.
Oh, I wonder if I can find this. Oh, this would be great. I had a friend that dressed up as Quail Man one night. We were staying in a hotel. I still keep the photo to blackmail him because he's now a principal.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, I'm not going to find it quickly, so I'm not going to look it up. But I did definitely have it. All right, let's look up Fox because WB is not what I was looking for. Chat, question for you. On this show, who is Pinky and who is the brain?
Ooh.
Between Manu and myself, who's Pinky and who is the brain?
And we don't get to answer this.
One is a genius, the other's insane. The laboratory mice.
All right, you're the brain. All right. Just take it. Okay. Just go.
No, Pinky's actually the
There.
smart one, though.
Oh, it is? Well, that's
Yeah.
deceiving.
Yeah, because what would happen is Pinky would like, hey, Brain, I think we should do this. And he goes,
Oh, so you
idiot, we're
knew
not
I was
doing that.
calling you the smart one. Okay. So
Yeah.
even though I had the wrong name, you knew I was calling you the genius side of this equation.
No, you're no. The Brain is not the smart one. Pinky's the smart one.
Pinky, yeah. So I was mistaking it, thinking that it correlated with the name because I don't remember. But you're the smart one. I'm the crazy one.
Oh, I like this. Manu is Pinky venomized. That is perfect.
Oh, I love that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Who said that? Chris? Nice. Appreciate that. Sin City says, stay tuned. Incoming mega ASM grills arriving this week. This guy,
Dude.
I feel like, dude, you could correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't known each other that long, but I feel like you have not, I didn't know you were into comics this deep. You literally have like the whole ASM run. Like, I'm not understanding. Did that happen quickly or you were already this deep? Like, I'm in, like Megan, I saw a live sale and I didn't realize that he was one of the screens on the live sale. And it blew my mind. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I was
I'll
catching up
stop
with the
yelling
chat
now.
as you were doing that. You'll stop yelling now.
I'll stop. VP Trading with the super chat. Thank you, our friend.
Whoa, VP.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. And he says, thanks for another entertaining segment. Thank you for another amazing set of posts.
Yeah.
Comic clipping and a Stan Lee signed.
Oh my gosh. He went all out on one day. He couldn't even space it out. Like I'm secretly mad at him all day.
Dude, that's retirement level post. That's like, all right, I'm taking a vacation. I'll be back next season.
Oh, I love that Keith sent me a private message. Keith, I'm gonna call it out. Keith, can I say your private message?
Yeah, what do you say?
On Instagram.
Sin City says it was quickly. Keith, give us permission. I want to hear it.
All right, do you remember the conversation earlier when Keith was asking if Jonboy had ever wanted to or ever worked on, like, what character would he like to work on that he hasn't worked on, like X-23, because he loves X-23? And do you remember what Jonboy did with that statement?
Yeah, Jonboy tore X-23 apart.
I was not ready for it.
Honest he is.
I was like, "Oh Lord, how do I respond to this?" Because I thought I heard him say that she was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, "Are we talking about?" I just want to make sure we're talking about the same person. So I was a little confused there, but yeah, he was not a huge fan of female Wolverine, but.
And all I was doing was absorbing because I don't know anything about anything, and I reacted just beautifully to how sincere Jonboy was about everything. I love it.
Come on, Keith.
Stop it, Keith. That's funny. Yeah. So X-23 is Keith's like Keith loves the character.
Well, I mean, he loves the character, but he also loves her story too, not just the way she's drawn. You know, there's more to it. Keith is not a surface level guy. He goes deep in everything he does.
I get that from him. I get that from you, Keith. I do.
He does.
And Sin City says fairly quickly, meaning that whole ASM collection. Yeah, he just decided one day I'm going hard, and then he did.
And he did, yeah. Man, that was such a cool time with Jonboy. That was great.
That was great.
I feel like there was so much more to touch on too. I just didn't know the right questions to ask.
I have a feeling that won't be the last time, so that's really perfect, actually.
Yeah. What else were we supposed to talk about today?
What? I don't know. It was something else. I don't know. I don't remember anything else.
Well, we had news last week. I touched on some of it with the Saturday Morning Marvel cards.
Which bit? Which
well,
bit
just we're confirmed now, like it's all but a done deal, meaning it happening. That Fleer Ultra Avengers is coming March 8th.
Okay.
Really happy about that. Great point, Mr. Collector. Ant-Man Quantumanium comes out this Thursday. Well, depending on how you do dates, but I'm gonna go see it Thursday. We have the new Allegiance Avengers versus X-Men. We got Kang has entered the chat for real this time. It's a variant of Kang. But yeah, so we have that. What else was on the Marvel card news? Oh, we got the Fleer throwback cards.
The Fleer throwback cards. Yes, I do remember. The holograms are included in that set, correct?
Nope. We don't know anything, but we only know that set's coming. So let me show you just as a reminder.
West Coast, don't confuse me. Kang and Ultron are the same people.
This.
Are they? I really have no idea. I don't know who Kang is. You could show me any picture of anything and tell me it's Kang, and I'll be like, all right, I really don't know. It could even be a burger, and it could be Burger Kang.
Did you just do that? That's hilarious.
I just did, yeah.
This.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was the commentary on this? Because you were like, Fleer didn't exist in the time frame that they're referencing as the.
It says Fleer throwback 89 Marvel edition. So is it Marvel, like what happened in comic books in Marvel?
Right. Yeah.
Or is it referencing back to a trading card? It can't be a trading card set. There was only comic images. Marvel's first, like Marvel produced, not licensed, but Marvel produced,
MU sort of thing.
It's 90 MU,
yeah.
which is why, like, it's important, but people still don't actually realize like what actually makes it important. Original art produced by Marvel
right.
artists, like big time artists, not
right.
small time artists. Yeah, kickstarted the 90s for what it is for trading cards. Like, I'm not trying to pump 90 MU. I don't have a bunch of it to sell or something. I'm just saying.
What? Speak for yourself. I don't
know.
I'm just joking. And now would not be the time to sell 90 MU. We're talking about $1,000 PSA 10s or $120 PSA 10s right now.
Yeah. That's not the point. I mean in this importance in history, not like you should buy all the stuff and hold it and hoard it.
Let's do a couple of cards real quick. If you wouldn't mind, I'll show a couple of my recent pickups, and I want to shout out a friend of ours. So I'm going to start with Nerdy Card Guy. Nerdy Card Guy is his Instagram name and his YouTube name. No, not YouTube, Instagram and eBay. Nerdy Card Guy. And this is that card I was talking about.
With Nerdy, you got the crotch. Spidey crotch.
This is Spidey's first crotch. Wanted to make sure we all got a chance to look at that. It's a one of one. And so this is the card from the front. I quite like it from the front too, because it says "You and your fire sales," and I made the same reference yesterday. I love to sell stuff, right? It's an 8.5, which I'm quite happy with. I love that. And
what's the pop on it? Have you scanned the back?
Look. No.
Okay, that's when you know it's a good card, when Manu doesn't even look at the pop.
Yeah, any 8 or higher in the 66 that is a card that I like. I do not care the pop, because I don't think the pop will be enough to keep the values down 10 years from now.
If the pop's more than 50, I'd be surprised, and I don't think it matters.
Oh yeah, I'd be super surprised. Well, I'm going to look into it just for fun. So I do want the rest of the puzzle, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. Spidey's crotch, I think is cool. And so, Nerdy Card Guy, thank you for that.
He's talking about the card, everybody. He's not talking about me. Just to be clear.
Yeah. All right.
Don't get it twisted.
Bam. Okay. And then I picked up 95 Spider-Man. They call it insert masterpieces. It's like the chromium cards. I showed this on my story the other day, but I actually picked up 2 of these. The other one just hasn't gotten to me yet. So I really like this card. Love this card. When I was younger, this was a card that I was obsessed with. So Can
you imagine just how painful Venom's tongue must be with those teeth? Goodness gracious.
Man. Yeah, that hurts.
That's Cam's favorite card. He got 2, one to keep, one to sell. So just hit him up.
That's actually true. So yeah. Okay. And then, thank you. And then Dave picked up a really cool card via trade. I always give everyone's business out there. I'm so sorry, but I'm just going. But RMS, RMS is part of our group here, and we trade cards. It's what we do. We trade stuff. And
Yeah.
so I did a trade with RMS and got this back into the collection because I might actually still have one. I don't remember, but I've had sold, so on and so forth, right? And so this
Yeah.
is back via trade. But Dave has a very cool version of this, and I really want. I don't have it, so I can't
Is
show
it a
it.
foiled version, like a
No, same card, but just
same
it's
art?
decorated.
Oh yeah. I
So
understand. Yeah.
and yesterday on Dave's stream, we made the cards kiss. Like we brought the cards close
Oh, y'all
together.
did. It got
Yeah.
weird. Okay.
It got weird. It gets weird. It's supposed to get weird. Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're not. Goodness gracious.
Boom, boom. Inexpensive. Picked it up because I've always loved the visual. So 95 flare.
It's so well done. Everything's
It's
well
so well done.
portioned.
And yeah, I agree. And I'll reuse last night's joke. This is the 90s version of AI created art because it was digitally colored. And Flair, FLAIR, well, the AI,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
AI, yeah, the AI in Flair.
That's it.
I like it.
So
That's a good joke.
there you go.
Did
Yeah,
you write
thank
it down? Like, when did you come up with it?
last night, and I reused
Live?
it again. Yeah, live on the thing on Dave's stream.
So I do the Saturday morning Marvel cards with our friend Drew Jen Collects from Loot Box TV.
Yeah.
And the first comment after the video post, because we were live, somebody said that I was 100% high.
I saw that comment, and then another friend responded and said, "Not cool, right?"
Yeah, I thought that was great of them.
And I wasn't offended by the comment, but I saw the comment and I thought that's interesting. And then I loved your response, because you're like high off life, high off Marvel cards, right? But what I thought was so coincidental about it was that just the day prior, I had a story running on my Instagram that was a room full of marijuana smoke.
Yeah.
I
saw that.
And I just and it's not like I'm always posting about pot. That's the only time I've ever had like a pot related post. And in that, those happen to be entrepreneurs from that space, right? From the cannabis space, really successful people, by the way. But the next morning, I saw that comment on your page, and I was like, on your in the comment section, I was like, weird. What the heck?
Weird.
But
I was like,
yeah,
I think I had my camera pointed at a different. I know I always have the camera straight and not to the side. And I thought maybe
no, I just think it was early morning. It was early morning. Aren't people's eyes a little red when you wake up in the morning? Like maybe that's what it was. No.
I was like, oh Lord.
Regardless, it's not a terrible comment. It's not like an insult. It's funny. It's funny. I just thought, I didn't. Yeah, I saw it though.
So T Bear says, I noticed that the Spidey shirt at the right side there is a Venom banner on the door at Manu's room. Yeah, we haven't talked about the banner hanging.
So that's the poster. That's the poster that I got from Dave, right? Okay, so that's the poster of Venom hanging upside down in a sewer. It's the spirit. I'll show you exactly what it is, but I'll show it to you in a way that you guys can actually
Spirit
see
of Vengeance.
It's this. It's this artwork on the poster, and this is actually going to Andrew P. He won this last night.
That's
but
cool.
No, I'm not gonna. I am gonna. All right. No. Yes. I'll be right back.
All right, you go ahead. We'll go back to the comments. How on life, man? Look, I enjoy life. It's ups and it's downs. I try to stay even keel and enjoy it all of it. No, he doesn't. You've got mail.
You've got mail. The poster.
Wait, what does it say? At odds in life and love online. Whoa, does that describe us or what?
Why do you think this is on the show? Why do you think this is on the show? Okay. And it was last week that someone said something about the poster or a poster, and I went and bought one. All right.
That is awesome. Although I will say the kissing scene on the computer makes me a little uncomfortable.
Me too. I was actually, before presenting this on tonight's show or any show that it was going to make an appearance on, I was actually going to cover that up with image of Spider-Man and Venom or something to really tie it into Marvel. But the frame that I wanted for this one, I broke it. And so this is how, because this is huge, this thing.
It's huge, but it looks really clean.
Well, they printed it. It's not an original. It's clearly printed on demand, right?
Gotcha.
Like I ordered it, they printed it on some vinyl-y type stuff, and I got it now.
Oh,
Okay.
Now, was Meg Ryan in Sleepless in Seattle as well?
Yeah, she was, but I like You've Got Mail better than Sleepless in Seattle. But those are both Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
I mean, yeah, I just love they were like, man, that really worked. I think we can do it again.
You know how Hollywood is.
I mean, I'm not mad at them.
I'm not either. So yeah, that.
Got a lot of chat, a lot of comments here. Okay.
Okay.
So
this is a 316 that turns into a Spider-Gwen Stacy thing.
Well,
And it's really affordable. I don't know where it comes from, but they're really affordable. I just figured I needed one. You want to do a giveaway? Shall we give this away?
You can, man.
All right. What do we give this away as? What do we do the hashtag?
Why don't we just do, I don't know, man.
Venom Gwen.
Venom Gwen?
Venom Gwen. I'll start.
Right, hashtag Venom Gwen.
Hashtag Venom
All right.
Gwen. Oh, Gwenum. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, hashtag. Dang it. There's a lot of hashtag choices. Where did mine go? You know what, guys? I am changing it. The hashtag is You've Got Mail. I'm sorry, but it has to be. Derpa's on point. The hashtag is You've, with the E, got mail. The same way he did it.
Good job, Derpa.
Yeah, come on, everybody. You've got mail. So it's really cool. It's what is it called? Lenticular. And it changes to venomized ghost spider on top of Spider Gwen. It's hard to see, but the 316 part shows up really nice. So it's a nice book. I never had one, and it was like inexpensive, and I thought I have to have this in person to look at it. But now I've looked at it, so now someone else can look at it.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, we got that running in the background. I did want to get to Chris Marlin's comment. He said, no arrogance from any of you or your friends. I enjoy listening to all of your talking, Marvel collectibles, etc. I have no friends that has the same feelings about collectibles.
Well, you do.
We'll be your friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Absolutely.
Let's see. What does this mean? I see you're using those two Mylights.
Yeah, so I use, you're right, Mr. Collector, you're right. I see you're using those Mylights too. So I use E. Gerber products exclusive. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. This is getting shipped to someone in whatever came to me in, and it's not in E. Gerber products, but I'm sorry. You know, it is what it is. I haven't changed the bag and board because as soon as I looked at it, I thought, well, I'm done with this now. And so I didn't change it. But anything that stays in my PC or stays with me for any extended period of time, they go into E. Gerber products, and the Mylights are the Mylar bags. And then the full backs are the board that goes inside. But unfortunately, E. Gerber is either cutting costs, or what they're saying is their manufacturer is just not participating in the manufacturer's cutting costs. But the board is not the same as it used to be, meaning it used to be white on both sides and slightly thicker. Now there is an exposed, crafty cardboard side. And it wasn't like that before, and it's not as thick. It's still a superior product to other boards on the market, but it's not a superior product to what it was 1 year ago, which is disappointing. I do not like when companies go the other direction.
Yeah.
So, you know, anyway, you're right, my friend. E. Gerber products, Mylight 2s indeed.
Yeah. Armando, he's asking about, we got a surprise sketch in Unbound today, She-Hulk sketch. I've seen pictures of it. It might be the best sketch so far. And the Black Panther was really good. So, T-Bear Phil, who is Tom and who is Meg?
Dang. You know, all right, look.
So who is Meg? We're getting this again. Who's Meg?
Here's the thing. I want to be Tom and Meg, right? But you're not Meg, right? You're not Meg. You're not Meg. Like, so I'm going to give you Tom, all right? You can be Tom, okay?
That's it.
And I'll be your Meg, all right?
We've already
when
decided.
You're not around, I'm both of them.
I got the brains, you got the looks.
All right, fine. There you go. Fair. Nice compromise. Way to make me feel kind of decent about you being Tom and me being Meg.
The truth is, you got both. But anyways, Kate and Leopold is one you should watch with Miss Spidey.
I
got
know
Hugh
he
Jackman and
said
Meg
this
Ryan.
yesterday too. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, he's telling you. Yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get my wife to watch Man in the Iron Mask with me with Leonardo DiCaprio because she's been watching Versailles, the Netflix series about King Louis. And if you know who Alexander Dumas is, who wrote Count of Monte Cristo, he wrote Man in the Iron Mask, wrote Three Musketeers, wrote how do you say it? It's like miserable, but it's French.
Les Mis.
Les Mis.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Anyways, couldn't say it.
Les Mis.
Anyhow, he wrote all those. I love fictions that are historical fictions, meaning they take everything going around the characters is true to history, but the characters and their story themselves is fiction. And that's what he does. But Man in the Iron Mask is like, we know that's true. We just don't know what really happened, but it's a great movie. But anyway, she turned me down. She wouldn't watch it.
Oh, man.
I know. All right, we're getting close. We're going to run this hashtag You've Got Mail for just about another 3 minutes, and then we'll go.
What's the count on it right now?
We're at 25. 25.
Hey, the odds are good for you guys. I'm not mad.
Yep. So somebody says, love Count of Monte Cristo. T-Bear says, Man, the Iron Mask, and it was great. Count of Monte Cristo as well.
Oh, and T-Bear, did you ask? Oh,
sorry. It's still the best movie I have ever like sat down and watched and didn't know what was coming. I had zero expectations. I think I've shared this before. I was like going through this phase when I was doing appraisal work where I would stay up all night typing up reports, and I would just put movies on to the side and just have them running. Well, when I started realizing how many movies were made from the books of Dumas, I was like, I'm just going to watch all of them. And that was one of them. And that movie just absolutely blew me away. It's about revenge. It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, watch it tonight.
Got it. Mr. Collector 123 asked a really good question. Manu, do you use microchamber paper for your older books? My answer is simply no. But the reason is I really don't have very many old books. You know, like 80s and 90s for the most part. Anything that I do have books from the 60s, but they're not like my prized possessions. They're just books that I randomly have that I don't even completely understand. I didn't know that I had the first appearance of Prowler until I saw somebody else like talking about the book. And I was like, oh, wow, I have that book. But the condition is not in the sort of condition that, you know, I don't think it's, I don't know. But no, so I don't use, what is the kind of paper called again? Microchamber paper, because I just haven't got into the world of preserving really old things. But if you think about it, the things that I have will eventually become really old. So maybe I should look into that. I have cracked books out of CGC cases and the microchamber paper has fallen out of it because they are supposed to encapsulate their books with microchamber paper. I believe they do not all of the time. And the other interesting caveat with that or thing about that is they say that you're supposed to re-slab your books every 10 years or something. Like, that's annoying. Like, nobody thinks about slabbing their book as something they're going to have to re-slab later, right? And so I don't know if there's real truth to that, but I guess I'll find out in 10 years. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Mattis, make sure good night.
Enter, make sure you enter the giveaway. Hey, have you seen the new Flash trailer that went live this weekend?
Nah, I'll watch it here, but I'll never probably ever take any content from this.
Yeah, well, you're going to be interested.
A little last night. Sure.
So you have talked about it, so you know what's coming.
I love the fact that Keaton's in here, but I don't like everything else about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had actually saw it or watched it.
No, I hadn't yet. No.
Yeah, I tell you what, it makes sense now why why they kept this movie going and didn't just end it after Ezra. I think it's Ezra Miller, maybe is his name, the main actor.
Oh, that's his name. Yeah. So it's not Eli Elezra. That's somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know, and I may have got his name, but yeah, he's done some things that are not good, and quite often it seems like, but I do think this got people's attention, and they're like, you know what, I do want to see it because I think we saw at least 2 versions of Batman in this. Maybe we're going to see more. I don't know. but the Michael Keaton one is the one that's most interesting.
There's 2 versions of Batman in the one movie.
Yeah, so you see you see the Ben Affleck version. I think it's going to show it here in a second. See?
Oh, I like aged Ben.
Yeah. And then it's taking you back in time to General Zod.
Batfleck. That's what Derpa said.
That's funny.
Good.
When I see General Zod, he reminds me of the lead singer of Three Doors Down. I don't know why.
That scene was awesome. I guess I'm gonna watch it because the scene
Look at that.
cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
He can't even turn his head.
Awesome.
It's great.
I love it. It would be unnatural if he turned his head. That's how I know Keaton is Batman. This guy.
Yeah. Whew. There he goes.
Not turn your head.
Head never moves. Can't see what's going to get hit in the side, but
he's got cameras.
Yep. And then that scene right there. That was more of like
was that Superman?
No, that looked like Dark Knight. I can't
the red. I thought I saw a red cake.
Oh, you're gonna see Superman, yeah, or well, a version of something
super someone.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you.
Super Bowl. Oh, that was yesterday. I know no one knows that, but I just let you know. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's not Clark. It's Kara.
The Ravens one.
The Ravens one. So you got a female Superman, Superwoman.
Oh, it is. It is a Supergirl. Or no,
Supergirl.
I mean, I don't know if it actually is.
Honestly,
sure.
I don't know who Kara is. I don't know anything about that, but
is that a comic book advertisement at the end? It is.
That's what it looked like.
Wow, I've never seen that before in a movie trailer. I've never seen them plug a comic book at the end of a movie trailer.
Why not? Smart.
It is smart. It makes perfect sense. But I just never saw that happen. That feels oddly 90s to me. That kind of warmed my heart. Just seeing some comic books on the screen after a big budget film trailer.
Kara is Superman. Or Supergirl. Sorry. Good. I'm going to go to bed soon. Don't worry.
All right, let's run this giveaway.
Fighting crime. He still hasn't designed an articulating neck piece. That's true, but that's 90s.
That's 90s. That's the new tagline. That's 90s.
All right, let's share the giveaway screen. Boom. There it is. All right, your last chance to enter, my friends.
I will ship it anywhere in the world. I don't even do that for things I sell. Actually, that's not true. If someone's paying for the international shipping, I do.
He says, since Nolan Batman, I've not been this excited for a DC movie at all until I saw this. I think
Jen, what up?
Jen collects. That's my buddy.
I feel like he doesn't know what he's writing You've Got Mail for, but I'm loving the fact that he did.
Well, it's 1 a.m. He woke up just for this.
Corneliously, what up? Oh, no. Yes, Corneliously. Yes, that is right. Not yes.
You ready, my friend?
They're all coming in now. No, they're coming in hot.
They're coming in? Okay. We'll get it in a second. Let's get it to 30. Come on. We're at 28. Let's go.
Yeah, BP Trading's in here. Oh, Jen
29?
said he did see the poster. My man. Man.
Been watching.
Oh, but that's not what we're giving away, though. You've Got Mail is being given away for this book. You know all this. Why am I saying this? If you saw the poster, you obviously saw this. I'm sorry.
He says, I'm here just caught up on 2 times speed. That probably does speed up my southern drawl to more normal speaking pace.
I don't know how to get the 2 times speed. Is that only available on the desktop version? You can't get that on the mobile app?
Huh. I don't know.
All right, we're at 30. Let's run it.
Let's go. 31. 3.
Good luck,
2,
everybody.
1. Yeah, good luck. Who's going to do it? Who's it going to be?
Someone in the chat's name is Silent, and I love that. Hello, Silent.
Stacking 9
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Congrats, my man. Congrats. Can you please do me a favor, my friend? Just DM me the shipping address. Oh, Andrew, DM me the shipping address. You ain't got to feel funny about it. I'm gonna ask you for it if I don't see it in there anyways. Just send it. Just I'm gonna send you some books, man. Send me the address.
He's never won. Well, you have now. You can no longer say that. You have won. So congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, my man. I mean, thank you for participating is what I would like to say there. Yes.
Yeah. Brother, what a fun, unique show this was.
Very much.
It's good.
Very
I
much.
was,
Thank you for making that happen.
I'll tell the chat now it's the end of the show. I had a really difficult day, and it was super nice to know that the show here was waiting at the end of the day. It was really good. So really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and doing this every week. It means a lot.
Yeah. I hope it was I don't know if this is I hope it was a pleasant distraction. If that's maybe I'm phrasing that wrong, but I hope it was a nice positive energy.
Yeah, there was everything I wanted it to be. It was great.
Good.
Man, then some, to be honest with you. The way Jonboy really took to our people and to our show was great.
Beautiful. It really was.
All right. Love you, everybody. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for watching. You know where to find us on Instagram under the same name, Spidey Hits, the 9.9 Newsstand. Please follow us there if you're not. Do me a favor, hit the like button, leave us a comment, and give our boy Jonboy a follow if you're not. I'm sure he would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the channel. We'll be here next week. I haven't decided if we're going to do Sunday or on Monday next week, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be sure to let you know. But as always, I hope you have a marvelous day.